talk is money, honey. All we talk is money. All we talk is money. It's like bees to the honey. Honey, money, honey, money, honey. It's the Soscast, baby.
Yeah, well, how about that round of applause? Welcome, 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 welcome. All we talk is money. Welcome to the Soscast, only here on Valuetainment, the #1 channel in the world for entrepreneurs. Welcome to the Soscast, baby, the sexiest financial show in the world. This is where finance meets romance. My name's Adam Sosnick. You can call me Sos. Everyone does, so why not stop now? And we are here for one reason and one reason only. You know the reason, but we'll say it anyway. We want to see you guys out there, and ladies, get paid, laid, and do it your way. Welcome, ladies, to the show. Speaking of getting paid and laid and doing it your way. First time here, second time here, Little Red Riding Hood, first time here.
First time here.
First time here, no politics.
No.
All right, first thing, Trump, Biden, who do you, no, I'm just kidding. No politics. All right, we got an amazing show today. Let's let the ladies introduce themselves. So here's where I would like to start. So introduce yourselves. You guys all have cameras looking at you. Give us your name, what you do for work, how you make your money, and your relationship status. Finance, romance. Let's start with the lovely Tessa.
Hey y'all, my name is Tessa Johnston. I'm a full-time tattoo artist, and I'm a very happy fur mom.
Fur mom, there it is. Tattoo artist with no tattoos.
I have them, they're just small.
Okay. You know, they say don't get high on your own supply.
Well, I do them to myself, so I can only do so many locations.
Okay, I see zero, but whatever.
My whole hand.
My whole hand.
Let the record show that there are tattoos there. I don't know if we could punch in or not. Okay. Angela, how you feeling? Give us your story.
I'm doing great. I'm just Angela. I do content creating, and I relationship coach currently. And yeah, notorious
relationship coach currently.
Yeah.
And you're in a relationship.
Yes.
Yeah, happy relationship.
I hope so.
I hope so.
I hope so. I feel it, but you know,
Okay.
the world is crazy.
The world is crazy these days. All right, we got Diane in the house. Little Red Riding Hood.
Yes.
We met at Model Volleyball.
Yes.
Give us your story.
So I do modeling. Right now, I do acting, and I also do. I'm a personal jeweler, so I'm selling diamonds. So now I'm getting to know all the diamond world, which is pretty cool.
Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's turn her up a little bit and turn Jorge down a little bit. Okay, Maria.
Hello.
How you doing? Welcome to the show. Welcome back to the show.
Yes.
Give us your story.
So my name is Maria. I work with different agencies. I work with Celsius and another agency that work with Bud Light and another brands. Also, currently I'm doing an intern for being a personal trainer. So I'm finishing, and soon I will do my exam, and I will be a personal trainer.
Let's see those guns. Yo, you got some guns out here.
I know.
Tessa, she's giving you a run for your money. Let's have a gun off real quick.
I don't want to embarrass.
Go ahead, give a gun. Just give one gun off.
I never flex on camera.
All right.
We'll keep
I
it
never
classy.
flex on camera. Speaking of flexing on camera, we got the baddie with the Jamaican patty, Natalya, in the house. Flex
Hello,
on him, Nat.
everyone. Hello, everyone. Well, welcome to the Soscast. Happy Friday. It's officially Friday here on the Soscast.
Shit.
We appreciate you
Yes.
all for tuning in today. We have a lovely panel of ladies and the Sauce Man in the building. So we're going to get into a lot of interesting topics today. And we actually have a very big announcement that we'll be announcing shortly. But before we do that, make sure you guys like, comment, share, subscribe, do all the fun things. Because Adam likes to say, if you don't, your mom's a hoe.
Yeah. I mean, you're watching free content. You got beautiful ladies with guns, tattoo artists, not those kind of guns. Like, flex on them again, Maria. Anytime we need just a little innuendo right there, we're going to flex on them. But yeah, subscribe. We got a lot of stuff going on. Speaking of stuff going on, should we let people know what's going on now, or should we wait?
No, let's do it now.
Right now?
We're the bangers. Start off
Okay.
with the
Do we have a picture or anything we can
Yes,
show?
I have it all pulled
So
up.
let's tease it a little bit. We got a big next couple weeks that are coming up here at Valuetainment on the Soscast. And it culminates at the end of the month, 2nd of June. So in the next few weeks, well, next week, Rolo, the godfather of the red pill, Manosphere, is coming on with Michael Sartain and some lovely ladies. They'll be on for that. So He's making waves right now with the debate that he just did with Sneeko on Fresh and Fit. We got your future ex-boyfriend, MLD. Why'd your face turn all sour when I said that?
No,
Jonathan from Modern Life Dating. He'll be coming on in 2 weeks. And then in 3 weeks, end of the month, 2nd of June. Here it is. Let me get my dates right.
Here we go.
June 2nd, live event here, Valuetainment Studios on the Soscast, collaboration with the one and only, or the two and only, Fresh and Fit, Myron and Walt. They're coming here, live event. We're going to pack the house, pack audience. If you're a fan of these guys, if you're a fan of Sos, if you're a fan of Valuetainment, if you're just a fan of seeing some fireworks and some amazing content live and in effect, join us here June 2nd, Friday night. It's going for 4 hours. We're going to have a pregame, drinks, networking, fun. Then we're going to do a show with Fresh and Fit and a very select group of women.
Yes.
Maybe you'd like to join us. And then we're going to do an after party, because, you know, after the party is the after party, then after the party is the hotel lobby. We all know that.
Right.
Thanks, Chingy. And then we're going to be joined in the cigar lounge. PBD's going to show up, and we're going to have fun. But this is our first live event for my show. I think third live event that we're doing for Valuetainment in this 6th studio. You heard the round of applause.
Yeah.
Here's a little hot tip. It was a fake round of applause.
Oh.
Yeah, that's fake. But if you want to be part of the real live audience, the real round of applause, get your tickets. They're on our website. Nat, what's the website name? Where can we drive traffic to?
So I'm actually going to be putting it in the chat right now, so you guys can check out the link. Make sure you guys grab your tickets, because they will sell out. I promise you they will sell out. So I'll put it in the chat right now, so you guys can check out the website, grab your tickets. But the website is 5990live.com. But I'll pin it at the top so you guys can click it, bookmark it, save it, because this is just one of many that we're doing. And you don't want to miss making history with here on the Soscast and Valuetainment.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, we're collabing with the biggest men's podcast in the world, Fresh and Fit, with the biggest entrepreneur channel for businessmen, CEOs, founders, executives, just hustlers, entrepreneurs here at Valuetainment. So we said, what better way to do a collab for our audience, their audience, crossover? It's going to be sick. So you ladies are all invited, by the way.
Thank you.
Okay. Okay, great.
Thank you.
So drinks, cigars, fun, ladies, content, all the above. June 2nd, get your tickets. Check out the website, link below. Natalya is taking care of that. And we look forward to seeing you here, live in effect, pressing the flesh with all our fans and subscribers. So that's going to be great.
I'm super excited. That's going to be a super exciting event. There's going to be a lot going on. We have a panel of ladies, Fresh and Fit, different topics, personalities. I'm excited. So I'm excited to meet you guys, have a whole event, cigar lounge at the after. So, you know, let's get this party started.
And I'm excited to see which girl Myron gets into it with.
Me too.
Because you know someone's getting a boot at some point.
Yes.
Must see TV.
Yes, nicely.
Well, we'll have you know, sheriff's offices here.
Security.
They'll be escorted out of the building. 'Cause we'll do it classy around here.
Yes.
But hopefully it doesn't come to that. But if it does,
We ready.
we ready.
We ready.
We ready. Let's get into today's topic, shall we? So, you know, this is where finance meets romance. So we're going to talk some money stuff. We're going to talk some dating stuff. We're going to talk where intersexual dynamics meets. We're going to get these lovely ladies' opinions. I know Angela's very outspoken critic of a lot of stuff that's going on.
Yay.
Maria out here, when I asked her, rate yourself 1 through 10 on the crazy scale, she said, crazy? 11, mother sucker. So I look forward to see that once out here in
Hell
public.
yeah.
We got Little Red Riding Hood hot stuff here. And Tessa, maybe we get her to flex on camera.
We'll see.
We'll see. With that being said, let's get into some of today's topics. We're going to talk inflation and what's going out there in the marketplace. Not that you guys are experts, but you guys do live in the real world. So we'll have that discussion, what's happening with that. We'll talk about a different type of inflation that is affecting men. That's a term that I think you guys will have some strong opinions on. An economic crisis plaguing a lot of men. Can strippers confirm when a recession happens? We're going to be discussing that. Not that any of you guys are strippers, but, you know, we'll talk about baby boomers retiring with zero retirement. Does that affect you guys at all? Does that concern you? Most of our parents are baby boomers. We'll discuss that. We'll talk about Tate. We'll get your guys' opinions on that. 13 of the most unattractive traits in men that repulse women. So that's where you guys are going to have to weigh in. I don't have any insight on that because I'm perfect. I've never made anyone discuss it with me. And are women willing to...
That's number one.
Oh, yeah. Rule number one. And then are women willing to date short kings? So we'll talk about that.
Yes.
We got a short king in the house. His name is Angel DJ. But he is a real life king in real effect. Tessa, can we get to Tessa right there? The good side. Show them your good side.
This is my good side.
That's your good side.
We don't see the other
Amazing.
side.
Just one by one, go down, see how lovely and amazing these women are. Go ahead.
Oh,
Boom.
Woo!
Give a peace sign. Go ahead.
There you
Diane.
go.
Oh, we got two shot right there. All right. Amazing. So let's get right into today's episode. So inflation. You guys familiar with inflation? So inflation is, the definition is the rise in price in goods and services and a decline in your purchasing power. If you're not familiar with inflation, oh, you learned about inflation the last few years. So inflation, they like to keep it around 2%. I think it reached a 40-year high in June of 2022, so almost a year ago, of 9.1%. That's no good. That's no good. But the good news is inflation has now officially slowed for a 10th straight month to a 2-year low of 4.9%, which is the lowest since April of 2021. So good news, what's going on in the market. This is all according to the Department of Labor CPI, Consumer Price Index. Am I losing you, Nat? You with me? All right. So obviously this has affected, inflation. This has affected housing costs, cars, gas prices, groceries, flights, hotels, going out, lifestyle, everything. We all understand inflation. What has the Fed done? They've basically been rising in interest rates. Jerome Powell, Jay Powell, shout out to him at the Fed. They've been raising interest rates by a quarter point here, quarter point here, quarter point here. And the Fed fund rate is now at 5%. That's basically how much banks are charged to borrow money. But they've signaled, since inflation is coming down, that less hikes are likely to come. So that's great. Plus, I learned a new term. You guys probably learned this new term, supply chain. Supply chain has been bottlenecked. That's all the stuff that gets shipped all over the world. That's been coming to a screeching halt. Nat's nodding in just complete denial of what we're even talking about right now.
Supply chain.
It's all good. But the good news is things are coming down. That's the bottom line. Prices are coming down. The world is trying to get back to normal. Inflation is hopefully getting back to that 2% level. We shall see. So inflation, prices, everything that's going on, things that Nat's probably hearing for the first time. But let's get with a very basic question. So let's ask the ladies. This term inflation, did you ever hear it before COVID? Yes? Yes? Yes?
Yes.
I think you're lying.
Yeah.
You know, yeah.
Bring it closer.
You know, yeah.
You know, yeah.
Yeah.
That you're lying?
Hell no.
Okay, all right. All right, all good. So we're understanding inflation. So from a woman's perspective, how has inflation affected your life? So rent, cars, going out, buying beauty products. Like, are guys taking you not on fancy dates? Like, are you deciding to maybe live with a roommate now? Or, you know, you were going to live by yourself, but you moved in with a guy. Like, give us a little insight into your lives from a female, and obviously how we're interacting with men, how inflation has affected your life. Let's start with Angela, because I know that she's got a lot of opinions.
I would say inflation has changed a lot. I think I moved here about 9 months ago. Back in Tampa, everything was very hamster wheel-like, and it was very normal. We had a plan to just buy a house, and then I think that's when everything changed. And I was like, wait, we can't live like this forever. I can't see us doing this 5-10 years from now. So I think it's taught me to definitely be more tactical and strategic with what I have to do and what he has to do, and we both like combine our finances together to just pretty much have an end game for the next 5-10 years, what we plan to do.
Did you guys always combine your finances, or did something change during COVID?
It definitely
and inflation?
changed during COVID.
Really?
Like I was more, I would say closed-minded, because the way I grew up, and being Asian, or your family, they make money, but they don't know how to invest. They don't know what to do with money. They're very uneducated with money. So I grew up that way, and I thought it was very normal. And he was the one who went to college. He was the one who knows all these things, and I just kind of follow his lead majority of the time. And it was fine up until COVID, and I was like, wait, I feel like all the burden's on you, and I feel like I'm not doing anything. And it taught me to be more educated with what I do.
So you were kind of like,
I was a modern
out of
woman.
state, out of mind, blissful.
I was
my
just
man's got
existing.
this.
Yeah.
But then since COVID and inflation spiking and consumer pricing and interest rates, everything, you decided, oh no, I got to step my game up. My man just can't lead everything.
Yeah.
I need to kind of learn and adapt.
Yeah, if you're in a somewhat healthy relationship, you have to recognize how your partner moves and how they feel. And if you're aware of how they are, you'd recognize like, okay, people don't mind doing things, but are they happy doing it? And you combine that with, shit that happens in life. You have to help your partner, and you can't just be dead weight while everything's going on.
I love that. You can't just be dead weight while everything's going on. Do you feel like a lot of ladies are dead weight in their relationships?
Unfortunately, yes, but I think it's just the lack of knowledge. I don't think that women are taught anymore on how to navigate through modern society. We're constantly being compared to traditional, society, and it's like we're enjoying the privileges of what we have now, but no one's actually teaching women how to navigate through this without demonizing them for being too masculine or being too, gold diggerish. There's like no in between for women.
Define dead weight for a woman. Like, meaning like, oh, that girl, that's dead weight right there. Like, cut that off, homie.
It's just a sensitive entitlement, I'd have to say. I think that, depending on how she was raised or what she's lacking in, I think, what social media feeds you, you'd probably feel like, I deserve this, I deserve that, I'm hot, or whatever it is, and don't put anything into the world or back into your partner. And to me, that's just dead weight, because to me, it's definitely subjective to what you bring into a relationship is valuable. But at the end of the day, you have to really think about how it complements your partner and how it works for you also.
So last question for you. Dead weight. Talk to the guys out there. Like, I've dealt with a girl before back in the day where I'm like, are you going to do anything today? Like, This was when I was probably, story time. So I probably was 27 years old. I had
Long time ago.
A long time. 700 years ago. Sals was in his 20s. And I just started dating a girl, right? And I also just started my career in finance. So I went from being a nightlife guy, comedian, party guy, where I actually had to get up and work every single day. We all know, like, in your early 20s after college, it's kind of acceptable to kind of bullshit for a little bit. I did that for 5 years. I don't recommend it. Do it for a year or two, that's fine. So I ended up dating this girl, and this is on the heels of the recession, 2007, 2008. And I'm dating this girl, prices go up, mortgages go up, rent goes up, things are going kind of crazy. And she couldn't afford her rent. And she's like, I have no place to go. And I was like, I like you, but I don't really like dating homeless chicks, so I guess you can live with me for a little bit, right? A homeless chick's not hot, right? I say this all the time. No girl is gonna find some random dude and be like, hey, you homeless buddy, come live with me. If you're hot enough as a girl, I'm like, all right, you're homeless, pretty ass, let's go. You're living with me. So she lives with me, and I'm working my ass off every day, and she's just home sleeping every day, smoking weed. Like, she could cook kind of a little bit, but that's cool for a week, that's cool for 2 weeks, but like, after a few weeks, and I come home, and I've had a long ass day, and I'm getting home at 8 p.m. at night or whatever it is, and she's just there, just sleeping. I'm like, what your dead weight ass doing out here? Like, and what's crazy, I was like, I just can't do this anymore. Like, you gotta go. I've got no place to go. I'm like, we all know those situations, and then you kind of gotta adapt. But now I hear she's dating another dude, and it's like, she doesn't do shit. I'm like,
Well, I know.
yeah. But now that she's in like her late 30s, mid-late 30s, you can't get away with that shit anymore. Like, when you're hot and you're young, you're 22, 23, 24, all right, keep your little hot ass in the house. But like, 34, 38, it's like,
do something.
Go get a job, bitch. No, sorry. Anyway, well, my question to you was, if a guy's in that situation where he's with a girl and she's just not paying her way or earning her keep and she's dead weight, put yourself in that guy's shoes. What should he say to the girl?
I wouldn't say it's a say thing, because I do recommend men to be very stoic. So for me, it's just a matter, if you're going to lead a relationship, it's just revoking the privileges that you have given her. And I think that when you do that, it wakes her up to see the value in you, or you just aren't meant to be. And if you're forcing her to see something that you're, giving her, that it's not meant to be. You're going to be shoving down knowledge that she doesn't want to hear. It's like getting mad at a spoiled kid. Like, you spoiled that child.
Revoking the privilege that I've given you, like a house key. You're done.
Anything.
You're out.
Flowers, art, car open doors, anything.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, let's go around the table here. Tess, inflation, everything that we're talking about here. How has your life been affected since the rise in prices? What have you learned? Give us your story.
I feel like I've lived in really expensive places for like the last 5 years. I'm from Canada, but I moved to Dubai, which Canada to Dubai is a huge price increase in everything. You're going from like small Canadian prices to these luxurious Dubai prices. Then when I moved to Miami, Miami is very similar to Dubai. Same prices for rent, same prices for dinners, cars, everything. So I was already used to it even before COVID. So I don't know. I don't think it's something that you can't really like worry too much about. Like, you either go with it or you don't. Like, you have to sink or swim. So it's like, if prices are increasing, then what are you doing to make more money? Like,
So how did you end up in Dubai?
I used to work for Emirates. I was
The airlines.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was a flight attendant and a brand ambassador for them.
Cool. I think they
So-
have the best outfits in the sky, don't they?
We were the #1 rated airline.
You were?
Yeah.
And then what happened? You quit, and then
I
they just
quit,
went
I
downhill.
left.
Emirates, like, this is the girl, and then you just... That's
No, they're still #1.
Give us a story on Dubai, because we have a lot of friends that go to Dubai. Sterling Cooper, Jay Waller, Fresh and Fit, Myron. Obviously, Andrew Tate is basically there all the time. Like, a lot of the people that we do content with, a lot of our friends, they all go to Dubai. What's going on in Dubai? Like, what do people at home need to know about Dubai before they plan that trip?
Go.
Just go.
It's absolutely amazing. I was somewhere that I always dreamed of going, but I never thought I would actually end up. And I lived there for 3 years, and it's like, if you go though, don't go to just like do the Dubai things, which is like rent a Porsche, like rent a Ferrari, like, I don't know, go to the malls, because they do have the best malls in the world. But if you go there and you just drive a nice car and you just go to the malls, then you're gonna be like, oh, it's like, I could do this anywhere, I could do this in Vegas.
Yeah.
But if you go to Dubai and you see the parts of Dubai that like locals love, that locals enjoy, you're gonna love it. It's the safest place in the world. It's the cleanest place in the world. Most respectful place in the world, especially as a female. You'll never find another place in the world where you'll be respected and taken care of like Dubai.
How do they treat women in Dubai?
Oh, a guy would never even say like no catcalling, no like touching you,
None of that?
nothing. Like, even like government buildings, there's a line for ladies. Like, ladies don't wait in line, so men have to wait in line, where ladies just go right through to
So
like,
women are put on a
counters.
pedestal in Dubai.
Absolutely.
Why is that?
Because we're the best. No, we're we are deserving. We aren't meant to wait in lines and wait in the sun and be mistreated. So they treat us how we are meant to be treated.
Gotcha. Well, the whole knock you hear about Dubai is basically the whole like tag your sponsor thing. It's like the girls, they take pictures, they're on yachts, they're on trips, they're at fancy dinners. It's like, who's paying for all that? Is it
that
Ahmed
is a thing.
or Mohammed? Who is it?
That is a thing.
What is going on in that regard in Dubai?
That is very underground, like very closed books. It does happen. It's very frequent. They are not paying for their own trips.
Yeah.
Those things usually happen on very private places or on the water.
So,
I have never, but I do know lots of people that have.
I know lots
Yeah.
of women that have ended up in Dubai.
Yeah,
And
it's
I'm
true.
like, I know you
yeah.
don't have any money, girl.
No.
Like,
It does happen. Everything you see is true, but the people there just have so much money that like they give a girl $30,000 to go there for a weekend, and it's nothing for them.
okay, so we're not naming names. We're not calling people out. What is expected of these women for $30,000 for 48 hours? Nat's giving me a face like, you know what's expected.
What's expected?
No, I get it, but give us a little glimpse.
Things that are not considered normal, even in America, like the fetishes. When you are that wealthy, become things that you just like, you don't even think of here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Speaking of fetishes, as you all know, we're doing a big event, but also we're doing a buy one, get one on Natalya's bathwater right there. You know that if that's something that you're interested in, we're having a sale. we encourage this woman to clean herself as much as possible because this bathwater is selling
For
out
you.
like hotcakes. Unfortunately, she only showers once a week. So, but she smells good. So the fetishes are wild there.
Yes.
And the women for $30,000, they're like,
They
all
do
right,
it.
I'm really not into.
I want to hear a fetish.
Yeah, because
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they
Diane wants to hear one fetish.
Like, tell me.
Give us one fetish.
no, guys, this is not me.
How about this? How about this? Don't give
a
a.
fetish on TikTok, and it's like
Tell me and I'll
hot
confirm
guys
it.
getting pied. That's it.
Getting
Hot
pie.
what?
Hot guys getting pied. And there's like
Pied?
a specific distance, like pied in the face or in a specific body part.
I
What do you mean
thought
pied?
I
Like
thought
a
it was me
whipped
now.
Like
cream?
a pie.
Like an
Okay.
actual bakery pie.
That's a
Yeah,
fetish?
pied.
That's a
That's
very
a very
that's a
fun.
very
That's the
mild.
most like. I know a lot of 13-year-old dudes that do that. Like, what?
That was very PG.
Dan, lift your mic up like that.
Okay.
That's
Yeah,
not the
there we
ones
go.
happening in Dubai.
Okay, so that's what?
That's not the ones that happen
No.
in Dubai.
They might have different cream pies in Dubai, but it's not.
Is it
It's
like
not
two
a
girls in
typical
one
cake
cup thing?
situation.
It's
Yeah, it
guys,
sounds like-
it's bad. Honestly, it's
but-
bad.
In your expert opinion, go, but be very careful for all the pies that might end up.
I would not
We're gonna
suggest
be having a
anybody to. I mean,
conversation
listen, if you want the girls that just leave with the Dior bags, the Chanel bags, the easy money. If that's you, you do you. But
Yeah. Do you frown on those types of women?
I don't think so. I'm a very people need to do whatever they need to do to survive, to make money. If that's what makes you happy, you don't mind it. That's how you were raised. You think that's fine. Do what you need to do. That's not
Gotcha.
what I'm gonna do. That's not how I make my money. But if it's easy for you and some guy's gonna give it to you,
Oh, some guy's gonna give it to you in Dubai.
enjoy.
You're gonna get it.
Enjoy.
One way or another. All
Yeah.
right. So, but back to the initial question: inflation, prices, everything that's going up. It really hasn't affected your life because you're so used to living in expensive cities that you just kind of roll with it.
Yeah, I think that's really all you can do is roll with it. Like you pick up another job or you put some ads to get busier or you find a way to just live with it if you want to. And if you don't want to live with the inflation, find somewhere cheaper to live or, something less to do. But for me, I like to live my life a certain way. I like to live in Miami. So then I just need to do what I need to do to be able to deal with inflation.
Respect to you. How about that answer? Okay, Diane.
Yes.
Okay, I know that you really wanted to hear some wild stories. You're like, I'll tell you a wild story. I like to eat cake. Well, it's not wild.
She's like, I put a cherry pie on
Yeah,
Sunday.
oh,
I
damn.
just thought it was such a weird fetish. I was like, what is that?
Okay,
Like,
Little
I'm
Red Riding
getting
Hood in the
pied.
house. You're from where originally?
Cuba.
You're from Cuba. Oh, we can have a whole conversation about this. And you've been in Miami how long?
Yeah.
You're Cuban too?
No.
Okay.
I'm
Another-
from Venezuela.
Venezuela.
Yes.
Okay.
Both of our countries are going. Well, mine has been going
Oh,
for 60
Cuba
plus
for a
years,
hot minute,
insane right
Venezuela
now.
for.
Things
So we
are
got a
crazy.
Canadian, we have a
Yeah.
Vietnamese, we got a Cuban, we got a Venezuelan, we got a Guyanan. All right. There he is. And we got a raw ass Jew boy from Miami. How you feeling? Okay. Back to the inflation situation. By the way, I've been to Cuba before. Amazing place. It's one of the. Here's how I would describe Cuba, because you go to, I stayed at Hotel Nacional, right in there, and it's almost it's like Hollywood. Let me explain. Why is Cuba like Hollywood? Because the front of the buildings all look nice. It looks like, and then you actually go in a block, dilapidated, deteriorated, disaster. But the front of the building looks amazing. You're like, what this architecture? It's incredible. And then you kind of
That's how you get the cute pictures.
exactly. And then you realize, oh shit, the infrastructure is actually falling apart.
Yeah, it's
a mess.
beautiful to go there and visit, and the people are amazing to hang out with, and the culture is beautiful. But right now, it's really insane, horrible. People, there was just a protest going on. No politics, but it's insane. There's no food. There's no nothing. There's no medicine. People are dying.
And what age were you when you moved to the States?
I came here when I was 7, and
Okay,
it
so
was
you were-
a huge shock.
Shock. What was the biggest shock factor that when you came to the States?
When I was in the airplane coming here, I was telling my mom I was so excited to try an apple.
Just an apple.
Yeah, I just wanted to try an apple. I was like, Mom, I'm gonna get to try an apple. I'm gonna get to try a pear. And I got to my house, and my uncle had a fridge full of ice cream, full of fruits that I've never tried before, strawberries, blackberries, blueberries, apples, pears. Like, I was like in, like paraíso, like paradise of God. That's where I was. I was like, this is what I see in the books. Like, this is what I saw in the movies. Like, it was insane.
So bringing it back to, pricing of stuff, pricing of goods, inflation. You go to a supermarket these days, and it's like eggs are now $10, something obnoxious, and beef is inflated, and all sorts of prices. Milk is double the price, whatever it is. Prices have been kind of crazy. They're coming back down. Put yourself in a scenario if you had like your whole family from Cuba come over, and they came into a supermarket for the first time. Like, you're saying you were excited to eat an apple. Now bring them into a Publix right here. How shell-shocked would they be just seeing what's available in America?
I think like a Cuban, you can ask any Cuban when was the first time that they got into a grocery store, and they will remember it like for the rest of their lives, because it's insane. Like, there's bread, like all types of bread. There's milk, all types of milk. You don't have milk in Cuba. I got my milk cut off at 7. Like, when I was coming here, I couldn't drink milk anymore. My mom was like fighting to try to find me milk around the country. Like, there's no more milk. Like, you adults can't drink milk.
Why?
Because it's like they don't give it to you. You're given what food you can eat, and that's not given to you. So you have to like buy it yourself, and you get paid like $20 a month. So like really, there's nothing you could buy really with $20 a month. So like chicken is still the same as in U.S. prices over there. So like they're paying U.S. prices for things, and they don't have the money.
And they get $20 a month.
And that's a doctor. Like my cousin, he's a doctor. He gets paid $24 a month. That's the highest paying job in Cuba.
So socialism's amazing, yeah?
Great.
Awesome. No, see that right there? So back to the initial question.
How has inflation affected you?
No, inflation affected you, but my question to you is, prices go up by 10%. You're like, dude, I came from fucking nothing. I was happy to eat an apple. I'll figure it out.
You can still figure it out. There's like, you're surviving. You're in a country where you could survive, where you could do everything and anything, and it's possible for you to survive. Like in Cuba, it doesn't matter how much you try and how much school you go to, because these people go to 7 years of school, and the schooling in Cuba is way worse than the schooling in the United States. Like, they have to go through intense schooling. And there's not even anesthesia to even like actually provide the care that doctors like need to provide. So like there's nobody getting, like, I was a breech baby, and my mom couldn't go through a C-section. Like, she had to give birth, like cut her open, give birth through like her actual like, it's insane. And that was when I came from Cuba in 2008. So now
so it's only gotten worse.
Imagine, like, I've heard stories that people like they've had to bring their families over because they couldn't get surgery.
So what's your message to Americans who are like, oh, America sucks? You see all these stats out there these days where basically patriotism is in a massive decline. People aren't exactly happy to be living in America these days. You know, if you poll Gen Z, they're like 50% believe that socialism is insane. Is better than capitalism. What would your message to those kids be?
I like really want to like show people what it's like to come here from Cuba, because it's insane. Like, you have it all. You are able to, like, you're in a country where you have freedom of speech. You're able to speak, say, sing, dance, do whatever you want. You could put Fidel Castro in the freaking wall and nobody would care, because you have freedom of speech. You could do anything you want. You could buy anything you want. You just have to like believe in yourself and do the work to get it, because you're in a country that literally like gives you the freedom to do it. Like, I know America has its many horrible people that are part of the government, but you're still in a country that you need to fight for the rights that it has now, because God forbid it becomes Cuba. Like, be very grateful for the fact that you have toilet paper, because in Cuba, nobody's has toilet paper. That's like one basic need that everybody was going insane for in COVID. And I was like, Cuba doesn't have toilet paper. Like, Cuba is newspaper. That's what people are using to like as toilet paper. So like, you have toilet paper in your house. You have warm water. You have like napkins and bread and milk and eggs, and that's like enough to actually provide nutrition to you.
I really love that perspective because, you know, there's doers and then there's complainers. And like kind of like what Tess was saying is like you just got to figure it out. If there's a will, there's a way. You'll figure it out. You know, that's kind of the definition of an entrepreneur is that they recognize a problem, they figure it out. Versus complainer mentality, victim mentality. Oh, the pricing, the rent, it's so tough out there.
Yeah.
You know, what can you do to figure it out? Whereas in America, at least there's that opportunity. So when prices of eggs go up by an extra $1 or $2, you're like, bro, at least you got an egg.
Like, yeah.
Okay?
At least you have enough food to like give yourself protein, carbs, and fats.
Yeah. You know, they say when life gives you lemons, make lemonade. You're like, we don't have lemons in Cuba.
No.
Exactly.
We got
Like
newspapers.
nothing, guys. Like
Yeah. Well,
guava
respect to
and
you.
Bananas.
Great perspective. Maria. There she goes.
Okay.
You're from Venezuela, so you probably have a similar story,
Yes.
but tell your story. You know, the initial question was inflation, cost of goods, everything's going up. How much that has affected your life. What's your story?
Well, actually, after COVID, that the inflation went up like terribly in this country. It waked me up.
Yeah.
So when I came here 4 years and a half ago. So I was comfortable. I was working in a cafeteria as a cashier, regular. And when the prices started getting up, I was like, I have to do something. I cannot stay comfortable. Nope.
You know, they say your comfort zone will kill you.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
So I was like, let me do something. I got like several jobs. I had like 3 jobs. I was studying to be a medical assistant at the same time, everything at the same time. And I was like working. Oop, sorry, the Celsius. So I was working. And then I was like, okay, let me try something else. So I started to study like personal trainer. And I start like listening to podcasts, entrepreneur podcasts, business podcasts, all of that. Making contacts, calling people. Literally, COVID wake me up. It put me in a situation that I was like, I have to make a change. Like, I understand, like I'm coming from nothing. So I came here and I was comfortable with what I have because I didn't have that. But after I saw how economically I was getting back to what I was like, Maria, you have to move. So literally, I would say like inflation, it makes a change on me, like to the roof.
Yeah, I think a lot of people during COVID, you know, they came out with a term called the K-shaped economy, where basically, you know, if you picture a K, the rich get richer, they're going up, and the poor get poorer. But that's only half the story because that's the rich and the poor, right? But the middle class, right, are faced with a decision.
Yeah.
Am I going to be an ostrich and bury my head in the sand and just live at the house and just be basic and just collect money from the government and just kind of just like get what they give me and I'll just be happy with it and get my stimulus checks? Or there's people out there, men, women, everything, that are like, nah, I can't get comfortable with this. And those are the people that are benefiting now. Because you might not have been able to like make more money because maybe there weren't job opportunities, maybe they were laying people off. But there's also other things you could do. You can read more, you can listen to more podcasts, you can improve, you could work out. How many people gained weight during COVID? How many people were just sitting at home eating all during COVID? So in the face of a tumultuous situation, you know, what's the acronym for fear? It's what? Forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. And that's basically what a lot of people are given the choice of. And which one are you? I think that's the best thing. By the way, Venezuela, you've been here for how many years?
My whole life.
So you were born here?
No.
Oh.
So I was raised in Venezuela. I came here to this country 4 years and a half
4 years ago. Okay, gotcha. And then kind of what I was asking Diane, compare United States, what we have here, the good, the bad, the ugly, all the above, to Venezuela, the good, the bad, the ugly, all the above. How would you compare those two countries?
I would say here you have everything. Like literally everything. You just have to go for it. And I know that some people, they complain a lot, but they don't do. This country is the place that if you do, you get it. In our country, even if you do it, you don't get it. You don't have the opportunity to get it. I came here and I had like a full scholarship in medicine to study in my country. What I was gonna do with that? They don't have teachers to teach. You don't have food to eat to have nutrients to think. What you can do? Nothing. It's really hard. The people that are success in my country, I don't know, Cuba, is the people that has business outside the country. That can bring the stuff, and people that have outside business can pay for it.
I love these conversations because I don't care if you're on the political left, if you're on the political right, it's not a political thing. It makes me sad just to see Americans not appreciating America.
Yeah.
That only want to highlight the negatives that happen in America. Yes, there are some things we can improve. Political divide, gun situations, whether you stand on abortion, politics, like the whole nine. Yes, we have issues. Every country has issues.
Yeah.
But our issues pale in comparison to what's happening into most countries around the world. It's insane. And I think that young people need to wake up and realize you can either look at things glass half full or glass half empty. If you want to be a half empty type person and victim mentality and everything sucks, best of luck to you. But the people that have that glass half full mentality, like, yo, I don't give a shit, I'm gonna figure this out, they're gonna win. I need you to do me a favor though, by the way.
Tell me.
I have a friend.
I don't have Celsius in my car.
In Venezuela. Okay, I want you to look at the camera. His name is Jorge.
Okay.
I want you to say, Jorge, you're a great man.
Spanish.
In Espanol.
Jorge, eres el mejor.
You're good enough.
Eres lo suficiente.
You're smart enough.
Eres
Inteligente.
lo inteligente.
Inteligente.
Blah, blah, blah.
You're
Yeah.
sexy enough.
Inteligente. Jorge, eres sexy.
Okay, eres sexy.
Eres sexy.
And I
coño.
love you.
Ah, sorry, I said a bad word.
It's okay.
Te quiero.
And te quiero. Jorge, we love you. And that's Jorge over there. Hey, Jorge.
Te queremos, Jorge.
That's my guy. You gotta give appreciation to the people that turn the cameras on.
Yes. Yes.
Okay? Because, you know, we up here, we're looking good. I'm not gonna lie, we look real good. But you wouldn't even know what we got going on. So shout out to the production team that makes things happen. Shout out to Jorge, shout out to Angel, shout out to everyone here that's doing their thing. Te quiero, Jorge. Too sexy. That's what's up. Nat, bring us home. Inflation, everything we're talking about.
Yes.
What's happened in your life?
As horrible as this, time has been for many people, I think this has really been a test to see how resourceful you can be. I think in times like this, you physically see how your life changes based on the prices of things going up, and even your time, because prices are going up, you have to spend time in other areas to gain more money. So I think this was a time where people were forced to be a little bit more selfish, and a wake-up call for them. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. I think sometimes when things are given so easy and we just feel like, oh, it's so accessible, we take advantage of it. So, you see these ladies come from different countries and they're like, wow, it woke me up. That this is reminding me of my country and where I came from. And, it's scary to think that you have people come from these countries and they see certain characteristics that are happening here, So, just be mindful of the things around you. And this is a time where you get to be tested on your resources. I think it's great because you get to see how almost low people go for money, right? You get to see what will people do for that extra dollar? And I think this is a really good time where your morals have to be very strong, your values have to be very strong, and having a clear destination of where you want to go, and along the way not ruining your credibility and who you are. So it's sad, but I think this is also a big test on everybody, and I think it's a time where together we have to come together, and it's scary because it almost feels like right now we're so divided. So I think just be mindful of that, and just adapt. You know, I put gas in my car every couple days, so I definitely see it. You know, my rent goes up, so it's like I definitely see it. And, you know, I live out here alone, so it's like I'm paying also a little bit higher for security and stuff like that. And resources and all that. But here's the thing, is like I'd rather spend money on those things than go spend money on things that don't matter. So just be mindful of the things around you and cautious. And save that money, as Sauce likes to say.
Oh,
Save
yeah,
that money
great.
now.
Button that up right there.
Yeah.
By the way, quick shout out to my Uber driver, Natalya.
That's me.
Thank you. She drives me everywhere I need to go. Respect to you.
Yes.
By the way, in the great segment, by the way, can we get a round of applause, Angel, to the ladies out there? If you would, in the chat, just so Natalya can see, because she's managing the chat, we're going to be answering your super chats now. You'll give me a signal when it's time to answer some questions. We'd love to answer. If you have any questions or comments for the ladies, we'll read it out.
Yes.
Let us know where you are in the world.
I saw someone's from Slovenia.
Slovenia. Shout out to my Slovenians.
Welcome.
Let us know where you are in the world, or if you're in America, what state you're in. And then maybe say one thing you love about America.
I love that.
Why don't we do that?
I love that.
Yes.
Listen, I don't want to turn this into a MAGA rally right now, but America, okay? We love America around here. So while Nat's doing that, we'll go to the next topic. There's another economic crisis that's affecting a lot of Americans, a lot of American men, right? We just described inflation, which is the rise in prices of services and goods, and basically the decrease of your purchasing power. But there's another crisis out there. And brace for impact here, don't get offended, but this is something called Hoeflation. You know about Angela's like, oh, I know about this Hoeflation. Hoeflation's a real thing.
Miami.
It's in Miami, you know, Maria.
Well, I don't know.
No, I'm not saying you, but this Hoeflation is existent in Miami. But let me read the definition of Hoeflation. And this is according to a very credible source, probably the most credible source on the internet, and that is Urban Dictionary. You can't get more credible than that. Hoeflation. What is Hoeflation? It describes the increase in prices that men have to pay for quote unquote lower value women. Here it is on the screen.
God.
This is reflected through higher prices in terms of having to spend more money on women, having to have a certain personality, physique, and etc. And women have lost all their value as they have sex with everyone, can't cook, or don't know how to be good wives. Here's an example. The Hoeflation in manliness this month is up 6%. Well, at least it's not 10%. Use Hoeflation in a sentence. This Hoeflation is killing me. So essentially what they're talking about is men aren't getting a good enough bang for their buck when it comes to women. This is essentially the premise of Hoeflation. So why do you think that is? Why does this word even exist? Why is this even a basic premise that men have to pay more and do more to get women that are half as good as their grandmas and their mothers? What is happening in society today that Hoeflation is running rampant? Angela?
Sense.
Angela.
I like how you go to her first. All right, hot seat. Okay. I just think that, again, it's the lack of awareness to how to navigate through modern society. I could ask the same question, why women feel they have to be naked to survive on social media in modern day. And it's just because you're not taught on the basic life skills that you have to acquire and then how to, survive from there. But I think that most of the guys think that, if you make a certain amount, that you deserve a woman. I'm like, well, the sense of entitlement to think that just because you make a certain amount that you deserve a woman, I think it's barbaric, because it's like, are you forgetting the fact that you have no other life skill? You have zero social skills?
You're saying men who make a ton of money, you're saying that they just deserve...
It's just an example.
Okay.
Some of these guys work like regular, jobs also, and then they're like, oh, I went up to a girl and she said no to me, and women suck. And I'm like, well, you try again, buddy. Like, just try again.
Yeah.
Maybe lower your standards.
Maybe you suck.
That's what I've always said. I said that if gold diggers are all you're attracted, maybe gold is all you have to offer. And if you're mad at the fact that, there's no quality trait in that.
Can we get a cha-ching right there? Hey-o. If gold diggers is all you attract, that's all you have to offer. Well said.
I just think both people have to take accountability in modern day to understand that you are the problem and you are what you attract. and a lot of people value themselves way too much. Especially social media has really painted this picture of what you think you are since, COVID, the pandemic. Everybody dresses up their profile picture like it's a resume, and it's really not them. You meet them in real life, and I'm like, whoa, this is not what I expected.
You ain't that cool, buddy.
No, but then this sense of entitlement, and I guess like again, being here in America where you have so many accessibilities to so many things, you desensitize yourself to things that you have to work for, and you expect that from people, and they don't believe in trial and error anymore. It's like shunned.
Maria, Hoeflation, have you ever heard that term?
No, this is the first
You're learning
time.
things today.
Yes.
When I read that definition, what resonated the most with you?
Okay, we're in 2023.
Yes.
I think as an independent woman, so for me, I'm not
Oh,
gonna.
a lot of men get triggered when they hear that term.
I don't care.
Okay,
I don't
all right.
care. I feel like I'm gonna work my ass to get the money that I want. So for me, it's a half and half. It's not like I'm gonna do all the stuff. No, it's a half and half.
What's half and half?
Like, I'm not gonna do all the chores, right?
Yeah.
Because the man also lives in the house. The man is not gonna be the only one who's gonna work, because I also live in the house. So I also have to pay something for the roof that I'm living with. And also, if you are a couple or if you're a man, at the end of the day, you decide to be with the person that you want to be. So if the woman is not doing anything, is also, you can leave her.
Dead
That's
weight.
it.
We already went there. Nobody needs no dead
That's it.
dead weight in their house. Angela will kick your ass right on out.
Exactly.
She'll change the locks ASAP. I don't even have to do it anymore. I just call Angela. I'm like, yo, get this girl out of here, bro. Get her out of here. Change the
So
locks.
at the end of the day, is your decision if you stay there or not.
Okay. How about you, Diane?
So I was like understanding that Hoeflation is that the prices went up for like lower value women, and that they're not like.
So basically, the premise is this. There used to be a time where an average man could get an average woman, right? Just whatever that is. But with the advent of the internet, right, and the global sexual marketplace, an average woman is getting hit up by all dudes. I don't know. I know you might have heard that some women get flown out to Dubai for $30,000 a weekend. I don't know. That's just rumors. I don't know what they're doing with the pies out there, but it's a real thing. But, it's a global sexual marketplace. It used to be a localized marketplace. It used to be you're a guy, you're working hard, you're a construction worker, you're a cop, you're an attorney, and, you go out to your local bars, and you go out and you meet women, and that's your dating pool. And Professor Scott Galloway, NYU, has done many analysis on this. Is basically the internet, dating apps, Instagram specifically, has been disastrous for young men, because now, let's say you're in Des Moines, Iowa, you're not only competing with everyone in Des Moines, you're competing everybody in Dubai, you're competing with everybody in Detroit, you're competing with everybody in Dallas. A lot of D's out there, y'all, literally and physically, that are out there. So now if you're just that dude that maybe you could have gotten that girl, you need to work double as hard to get that girl, because you're competing in not just your localized marketplace, it's a globalized marketplace. So that's why a lot of men are basically suffering, and they're basically saying what Angela's saying is like, oh, these girls suck, they ain't shit. And it's like, the one thing you can't control is yourself.
Yeah.
Is your money that you make, how you look, how you dress, how you act, how you respond, your game, what you read, your knowledge. That's the one thing you can't control. Because if you're that dude that's going up and the one girl you talk to, because you're too shy to talk to a bunch of girls, rejects you, and you're like, oh, women suck. Or even let's say you even actually have a good mouthpiece and you can spit some game, but you don't got anything else going on, and you're like, every time I can talk to a girl, she just rejects me. It's like, you need to look in the mirror, brother, and be like, what can I do to improve? Because at one point in my life, when I was partying every day, getting drunk, South Beach, I gained weight, I was like not the best version of myself, like I would get rejected. Luckily these days, not so. It's like things are okay. Like, I don't get like, ew, get out of here, buddy. Like, but like, because I had to look in the mirror and be like, buddy, get your fucking act together.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of men are, you know, again, we get back to the victim versus the doer mentality. The doers will figure it out, the victim. So anyway, I'm giving you the overall macroeconomic situation with Hoeflation. But basically, it's harder for an average guy just to get a normal girl anymore.
Makes sense.
Because she has so many options. So does that make sense to you?
It makes sense, and I think it's also can be flipped around. Like, men also have so much women to, like, just as there's men, there's women. And men also have many women to also approach on social media. But, like, men are also being creeps sometimes and being told off.
No, I understand.
That.
I guess that's, theoretically speaking, yes, there are more women, and like, but can they get those women?
Exactly.
Right?
And it's just about, I think it's also, like you said, about where you are and where your mindset is at. If you're thinking that your women are all about the money, then you're going for women that are all about the money, because there's women that don't care about your money and care about like your personality, how you treat them, if you're treating them respectfully, if you're like putting in the work to actually make money, because it's not like we're going to be like high value women are not going to be dating a guy that's just sitting around in the house doing nothing. Like, you also have to be having goals and going towards something and showing the person that you have goals and you're going towards something, so that you can attract the same kind of people that are interested in you, not just for your money, but also because you're a very intellectual dude, you're a very driven guy, and you're and that person feels safe to spend the rest of their life with you. Because if you're just trying to like get a woman to fuck, then to have sexual relationship with,
To throw pies.
yeah.
Guys out here.
Then there's many women that
Yeah.
can do that, and rates for them have probably gone up too, because as our housing goes up, all of the women's rates that are
That
gonna
is
go
the
up.
literal definition of Hoeflation.
So
Like,
that's what I was
you used
thinking.
to
I
get
was like, I mean,
Yeah.
everything's going up. They're gonna go up too. Like, they're gonna need more money.
Well, here, I want to get Tess in a second, but the underlying premise here is the concept of hypergamy. I'm sure you're very familiar with this concept. Are you guys familiar with this word, hypergamy?
No.
It's basically the act of a woman dating or marrying up socioeconomically, right? So, like in India, there used to be the caste system, where basically you had to stay in your caste, and if you were able to get out of it, you were marrying up socioeconomically, right? So we have some images on this that we can even break down right here. So, but here's how hypergamy sort of works in the dating
I need my glasses.
marketplace, right? Oh, she's gonna put some glasses on.
I
So
don't read.
let's define the adult top men and the top women. So would it be fair to say that the top men are the richest, most successful men for the most part? Can we say that?
yeah.
And that the top women are the most beautiful women in the world. Can we say that?
Okay.
Okay, so the basic premise is that men are typically defined by their status, their income, their net worth, everything that comes with that, or women are defined by their beauty, not just outer beauty, but also inner beauty. I like to highlight that, where it's like, we all know models in South Beach and all around the world that are gorgeous, and you talk to them, you're like, ugh, she disgusts me.
Yeah.
And then there's also women who are beautiful, but then they have so much inner beauty that you're like, all right, there's so much going on with this girl that, like, there's just so more that meets the eye. But stay on that chart if you would. So the way that it works is, the top men are going to date the top women. That's just how that goes. And then you go 20%, 30%, and then the bottom 50%. Then here's what happens, and here's why men are struggling. So the women, the top 20% of women, right, however you want to define that, they're also looking for the top 1% guy, because women want to date up based on hypergamy.
Yeah.
Whereas a man, at least for dating, he'll bang the 10, he'll bang the 8, he'll bang the 6. If he's drunk enough, bring that little funny 4 over here. Let's fucking throw. We'll figure it out. Tell her to bring a friend. And now we got the ocho, 2 4s. All right. Well, I don't know. That's just from what I hear. I've never done that, you know. But men will basically, they'll hit up the whole list. Whereas the women, they're only going after the top guys. So now, if you're the middle guy, your dating pool has basically shrunk. You see the middle 30%, they're basically relegated to the bottom 1/3 of women, right? Whereas go down to the very bottom. I don't know if you can see, scroll down on that thing. Then you just got the bottom 30%. It's just like, let the ugly people and the fat people, let them figure it out. I don't know. Like, best
Survival
of luck
of
out
the
there,
fittest.
kids. What's that?
Survival of the fittest.
Survival of the fittest or survival of the fattest. But basically, what will happen is the 80-20 rule. It's called the Pareto principle, where basically, like in sales, in a sales team, the top 20% of the sales team, the top 20% of businesses, top 20% of people in this case, they're going to get 80% of the money, 80% of the women. The rich get richer, the poor get poor. So what happens is to the average man, if we can go back to that chart, is like they're stuck in the mud because the middle 30% of women, back in the day when the sexual marketplace wasn't as globalized, you know, if you're an average dude, you roll up to the bar, you meet an average girl, and you're like, all right, hey, how you doing? Now that average girl in Des Moines, you know, she meets a top 1% guy, top 10% guy, he has a one-night fling with her or hangs out with her for a little while. She thinks now that she deserves a guy like that. And she's basically...
But whose fault is that? It's the guys. They're willing to do it.
Well, is it the guy's fault that he took down a 4 for one night? I don't know about that, but it's that she has delusions of grandeur. What's it called? It's called getting alpha widowed, where basically if you're an average woman and a top, like an NBA basketball player rolls into town, Chris Brown rolls into town, and he's like, all right, bring those fucking 3 girls into the trailer, to the dressing room. Maybe, so, you know, a rapper runs in. Hey, how you doing? Shows up. Matt's having fun. You know, a rapper rolls in, and he's like, yeah, bring those 3 girls in. Now they all think that they deserve a high-value man like that, whereas, like, that dude was never going to date you. So basically, it's a lot harder for an average dude out there. That's basically what I'm saying. And I'm using the Des Moines and Dubai reference as an example because back in the day, before social media, literally 10 years ago, Instagram, 2012, you weren't getting hit up by the sheik of Dubai being like, here's 30 grand, bring some fucking cream pies, let's have some fun. You were dating Derek in Des Moines, and you were happy to do so. And it's, you know, so as a man, it's number one, you need to just acknowledge this is what's happening. And yeah, have some. As a man, you need to acknowledge this is the reality of the world today. This is where we're at. Number 2, you could either do something about it or play the victim. It's kind of what we were saying earlier. It's like, oh, women suck, fuck these girls, these hoes ain't shit. It's like, no, I love women. I get along with women. I hang out with women. All the guys that I kick it with all hang out with a ton of women. They don't fucking hate women because they have an abundance mindset. They have a ton of women to hang out with, be friends with, kick it with, do whatever with. And that way they're not like anti-women. I don't understand guys who are anti-women. Most of the guys who are anti-women can't get women.
Yep.
That's what I've realized. So look at yourself in the mirror, gentlemen, my friends out there, people who are watching the show. Do you want women or do you not want women? Because if the answer is yes, I want women, the answer is you need to get better.
Yep.
Because a woman is going to be like, oh, these girls are shit, they don't have any money, they're just gold diggers, or oh, they want a guy because he's tall and he's got muscles. It's like, you can make more money, you can make more muscles, you can learn more game. Like, you could do what you can do to improve, or just be that other dude living in mom's basement being like, pussy sucks, I don't like it, I never had it before, I heard it's kind of like apple pie, shout out to the movie, but it's like, nah, you kind of want women in your life. Anyway.
Don't focus
Speaking
so
of-
much on wanting women. Instead, focus more on
yourself.
and
10,000%.
bettering yourself so that women
You heard it
will
here.
just attract you.
I could say that a million times until I'm blue in the face, but sometimes it takes a woman to highlight that.
Yeah.
And your advice to men is what?
So don't focus so much on improving your game. Focus more on improving yourself so that you can attract better women.
And what is it about a man that when he improves and gets his shit together is attractive to you ladies?
Like, we're really just looking for a guy that is focusing on himself and bettering himself, and we can look up to and be like, oh my God, he's bettering himself. That pushes me to motivates me to better myself. And like looking for someone that's there to like have fun with. Like, he cracks jokes, he knows where to go out to, like says, hey, let's go out to the beach, let's go out camping, like just normal man that has focused enough on himself to know what he wants and likes and can share that with us.
Tessa, let's get your thoughts on everything we just discussed. Hoeflation. You know, you are from Canada. You've dealt with men in Dubai or people in Dubai, Miami. What are you seeing out there in the global sexual marketplace? I mean, Dubai and Miami. Could you have a more competitive marketplace for men dealing with women? What have you seen?
I think Hoeflation, honestly, don't come at me for this. I think it's the man's fault. It's like real estate. People complain that house prices are going up, but there's always somebody who's willing to pay more, buy that bigger house. Same, there's a guy who's always willing to spend more, buy the bigger girl, you know? So, like, you can't get...
Better girl, not the bigger girl.
Sorry, the better girl.
I'm looking for some big girls out here.
You can't complain because there's always somebody who's willing to spend more, do more, show more.
Yep.
But if that's not you, then don't be that. Don't try to do that. Attract what you will attract. Don't like put on a show because that show's not going to work for you. Like at some point that show's going to close and then the girl's going to be like, what the heck, you know?
Show's
so attract
over.
the right person from the start and you're going to have it there for the right reasons and then you don't have to worry about whole inflation. Like
You don't have to worry about Okay, so next question. Great response. Down the line here, do you want a man who's better than you?
He's been someone who has been told by my partners that they would never be okay with me making more than them or me being more successful for them. I think guys are very insecure about that. However, I would have no issues being the more successful, more wealthier person in a relationship. I have no problem with that. As long as both people are working towards their goals, always improving themselves and what they're doing, I don't mind either way.
So you went right to the money, right? That's my girl. Cha-ching. Yep. Right on cue. But there's more than money when it comes to being better. He can be smarter. He can have more of an access. He can have more of a network. He can have so many. He can be more intelligent. He can have just so many other things going on. So back to my initial question. Money combined, do you want a man better than you, or do you want to be on the same page, or do you want to be better than your man?
I feel like I'm more of like a same page. Like we're both pushing each other up. Maybe he's more smart than me because I'm not the most book smart, I'm more street smart. But maybe I have more money or could be opposite. But as long as both people are like contributing to like life and each other and like they're doing something positive and something good for themselves, I think it's fine.
Okay, so you don't want a man better than you. You want to be equal to your man.
When you're
How
this
about you,
good,
Angela?
it's hard.
When you're what?
I said when you're this good, it's hard.
Oh, damn.
I'm just kidding, guys. I'm very low key.
No, she's not kidding. It's for real.
It's for real. Angela, do you want a man better than you? Do you want your boyfriend to be better than you, or do you want to be better than him?
So I really hate that phrase, not because of you, because I deal with the internet, and I think that's the problem, is competing with each other. I think that we have to understand that we all have our advantages and disadvantages, and we have to embrace that, and we are complementary. So I would have to say, it's not that we're equals or that we're better than the other. He has a lot of strengths that I will never be good at, nor do I want to be good at. And I have a lot of things that I'm great at, that I like to do, that he doesn't have any desire to do. So I think it's a matter of finding somebody that complements you. But if we're speaking in basic terms, I would say that he leads me, and he's better in ways that made me become this person. So if a man's leading and he's doing a great job at it, I'm going to follow with the same momentum.
Gotcha. So what is it about the wanting a better man that upsets you?
It's not that. I think it's just because people take that out of context with, social media. And because, again, social media influences a lot on people. And when they hear like, oh, I'm better than you, or women are, immediately you're triggering people. If I speak to a man or I speak to you, I'm disrespecting you. You're not going to listen to anything I'm saying. And I think that when you say, are you better than me, or am I better than you? Now we're in defense mode. Like, who's better? And it's just a matter of like, what makes you great and what makes me great? And that sort of opens the door of what do you bring to the table. But the reality is, what do you bring to the table? And what do you bring as a person? And it's not something that you have to speak about. It's something people would see immediately.
Well said. How about you, ladies? Do you want a man better than you, or a partner better than you? Do you want to be equal, or do you want to be the boss?
I agree with Tessa and Angela. I think that it should be complementary. And I feel like relationships naturally gravitate towards the same type of concept. Either you have someone that's better in leading in the relationship, or you have a balance where both people complement each other. One person is great at some things and the other person is great at other things. Like, for example, in my relationship, it's more of a complementary thing. Like, she's great at some things and I'm great at other things.
So, because you're in a relationship with a woman.
Yes.
That's right.
Right
So
now.
how does that work in terms of like the relationship? What is a girl better at? Like, this is a naive question.
So I'm more
don't know how it works. Like,
I'm actually more like handy in terms of like the handyman stuff. So like I'm more of like the handyman in the house and the one that carries
handy
the
woman.
Handy woman.
Don't get canceled.
Oh my god. Imagine. So I feel
Well,
like
let's bring in the authorities right now. She just identified as a man. That's not
think,
happening.
I do think I have a lot of testosterone in me, like a lot more. Like my eyebrows can give you enough of that. You didn't see my hair before it was cut, but like I used to have a lot of hair. But basically, I just have like incredible strength, so I'm always like the more dominant in terms of that. But she's also great in terms of she's very intelligent, book smart, very creative. She's a rapper, so does like her own thing.
Is it
like
true that in a
complementary
lesbian relationship, one is more the man and one is more the woman?
So I would say it's very weird in terms of like it's a complementary. So sometimes one will feel more feminine and the other times one will feel more masculine. So she is more masculine in terms of like her look, but she can also feel very and masculine in terms of how she like portrays herself, but she can also be very feminine and very like cuddly and very like soft, and you're like, okay, aw. And then I can also be very like manly, very dominant, but I can also be very like
handyman,
feminine and like let me put on a super cute dress and heels and like most of the time.
All right.
So yeah,
Well,
it's
I look forward to
interesting.
seeing you guys out there on those streets and see you mixing it up. One of the girls I dated for a long time, her best two girlfriends were lesbians, and we'd go on double dates all the time. And there was a picture of us, like on my girlfriend's birthday, and it was myself, my girl, her lesbian friend girl, and another friend girl, and they all caught us kissing our significant other at the same time. There was like 3 couples all kissing.
So cute.
And anyway, I felt like the man. It was like all these chicks kissing me. I'm like, all right, keep snapping some motherfucking photos out here, yeah. But here's the only downside. I didn't get any action from any of the friends because you want to know why? They're all lesbians. That's just. I'm like, can we just be bi first? No, we're full on lesbians.
Full on.
Lesbians.
Yeah.
How about you? Do you want a man to be better than you, or do you want to be equal with your man?
I feel like that the relationship feeds each other. So I like to learn, and I like to teach. So I feel like the strengths usually are different. Like in my case, I'm single, but in my case, I'm a really book smart, right? And in terms of life, I suck, like terrible.
Yeah.
Like I need some help, like to make decisions in life. So I feel like it has to be half and half. It has to be equal or more. I don't like to go under because I feel like you grow and you are looking for more. Like I already passed through that phase in my life. I'll go for more or same. I don't know if that makes sense.
Let me ask my question a different way, guys. Because you guys are giving we're all the same, we all compliment each other.
Same.
We all do
Either how you're asking
Hey.
But how you're asking the question though is you're deeming that a woman and a man are in the same like level to
Yes.
compete.
Yeah.
And
Okay,
they're
well-
not. If you ask the question, do you want your man to be better than other men? Yes, absolutely. I want my man to be better than any other man around.
Yeah, of course.
But if you ask, do you want your man to be better than you? It's like, well, I'm not even trying to compete with my man.
Okay,
Yeah.
then let me ask specific questions. Do you want your man to be smarter than you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes or no?
But in what way?
Smarter, like just knows more.
I mean, it's always great. It's always a benefit.
Okay. You want your
I
man to
don't
be,
want
how
them to be
about
dumb.
this?
I don't
Do you
want
want your
them to
man to
be
be
dumb.
dumber than you?
No.
Okay. So you want him to be smarter than you.
Say it more
Would you want,
smarter.
would you want your man to be smarter than you?
He is smarter than me. So
Okay,
yeah.
shout out to you guys, nerd. Just kidding. Do you want your significant other to be smarter than you?
Yes.
Okay, how about you?
Yes.
Okay, how about this one? You ready? Strong lady. Do you want your man to be stronger than you?
Yes.
Okay. Do you want your situation, I don't know how, I don't even know how to ask this question.
Woman,
You want her to, next, Angela, do you want your man to be stronger than you?
Yes.
Okay, do you want your man to be stronger than you?
Of course.
Okay, all of a sudden we're getting some places, ladies.
Better question.
You're asking the
Maria.
right questions now.
Okay, now all of a sudden I'm waking up doing my job. Hoeflation, wake up.
Yes.
Pay the price, homie. Maria, do you want your man to be more successful than you?
Yes.
Okay, you want him to make more money than you?
Yes, or the
Okay.
same.
Diane? Angela. I don't know how it works in a lesbian relationship.
It's gonna malfunction.
In that regard, you both do the same
I
thing.
also have been in a
You're the only
straight
person I accept the
relationship.
complimentary thing from. Yeah, lesbian, we're complimentary. Have fun. Do your thing.
Literally.
Okay, do you want your man to make more money than you?
Yeah.
How about you, Tez?
Same or more, not less.
Okay, so more.
Or same.
You got some competitive vibes in you. You want to compete
very
with
I
your
play
man.
pro sports, so
Yeah, she just.
it's not a competition, but it's like you
No,
don't,
of
you don't
course
go
it's not a
lower.
competition, but you don't want to
But if you
date
could
down. The whole concept of hypergamy is you want to date up socioeconomically. You want someone better than you to bring you up.
But
That's the whole
I have
concept.
a question for
Let
you,
me bring
Tessa.
you up, Nat.
Okay,
Go ahead.
question. I have a question for you, Tessa. If you had to pick one, would you rather date somebody who makes the same as you or more than you? Even if it's a little bit more than you, which would you pick?
If I had to pick, I would pick more.
Okay, there we go.
But
that's your answer.
That's everybody.
Now
That's
for
okay.
you, so.
That's your-
and
that's stubborn.
okay. That's not a bad thing. Like,
Yeah.
don't feel like, oh, I feel like kind of a bitch. I'm saying that. Like, that's not a bad thing. You know, you're thinking about like, who is my partner? I want my partner to be a little bit better in certain areas because here's the thing. Like you guys said earlier, that will also make you better.
Yeah.
So like, don't take it as like, I don't want to sound like kind of like, you know.
I think it's the
Like-
frustrating part because like when you say that and the internet's like, oh, you're a gold digger because you want to do it.
Yes.
That's why women struggle honestly on
Yes.
saying that because it's like if we have goals, oh, you're masculine, you're in the work environment. But if you're a bum ass chick, oh, you're a gold digger. So what do you want me to do? It's
Joe
hard.
bum ass.
Brandon said at the office, he said, men who get mad at that, it's because they have no gold. They have no goal to give.
Yeah.
I'm like, that makes sense.
What
They have-
about the
digger.
man perspective?
What about me?
Yes, I want to hear your opinion.
Do I want a woman stronger than me? Hell no. Okay. Get the fuck in the bed, buddy. All right.
Turn around!
Yeah. Do I want a woman smarter than me? In
Sure.
some things, yes. Like
hope
in
so.
EQ, like like
Complimentary.
like in that regard, but
Emotional intelligence.
but women bring a different type of intelligence. I don't want a girl being like, yeah, I proofread your document right
Yeah.
here, and then this is what happened. And all of a sudden, I'm gonna fact check you right now. It's like, all right, fucking
Yes.
CNBC, relax. Like I don't need that, like all that, right? So, but I do like. So Natalya, I'm always like, hey, so what outfit should I wear today, or what? Like, there's certain things that a women bring to the like the more feminine thing. I think is amazing. Like the number one thing I like about women is they're not dudes. It's pretty much it. They don't have penises. It's like the number one thing.
And women also.
And then also
know-
regarding makes more than me. No.
Yeah.
I don't like, I'm not looking for a woman that makes more. If I somehow
Why?
find, because oftentimes a woman who makes your same amount or equal, they don't pay anyway. So it's like, most women expect the man to, you go on a first date, who pays?
The guy.
The guy. Okay? You live in a nice house, who usually pays? It's the guy. Most women move in with the guy. Some people will split rent these days, I get it. Time to get engaged, who buys the ring?
The guy.
The guy. All right, so like men are expected to pay for a lot of things. So would I not want my woman to make money? No, like I would want her to make money, but again, it's where you're at in life. I'm at the point in life where it's like I'm gonna find some feminine, beautiful, amazing woman, and I'm gonna kind of say, all right, come on my team, get on my page. I'm building something. be the queen of my kingdom. I'm like, come to the castle, rather than some girl that's like, my house is bigger than yours. Like, I'm not gonna get on your page. Like, you get on my page. It's like, next. No, like, I've dealt with women like that. It's just, that to me is competitive. Because at some point,
you clash.
Yeah, you're gonna clash at some point, and at some point, the woman, in most cases, needs to get on the man's show. She needs to get on his page, at some point. If not, it's just gonna be, he's on the train, you're on a train, and the trains are heading like in the same direction, but they're going to different places. And that to me gets competitive. At some point, the whole concept of polarity is that a woman brings something to the table, a man brings something to the table, they coalesce, and it's amazing. But if a woman is making that much money, for the most part, unless she's a stripper and I'm not dealing with them anymore, you know what I'm saying? And like, if there's some sort of boss babe, they got their own agenda. If they're making that much money, like for instance, if they're making $500,000 a year, what are they doing to do that? And it's like, they're not gonna, like at this point in my life, and I encourage men to figure that out, take your fucking time. I've done all the partying, I've done all the chicks, girls, galore, travel. Like, I'm looking for a woman that could be a wife, and a good wife. Not a competitive, not to outsmart me, not to like out masculine me, not out alpha me. Be the feminine person in my life. But you need to become that type of dude to even garner that type of respect.
Correct.
Yeah.
What were you gonna say?
I was gonna say, especially when it comes to money, when you have women who make more or sometimes the same as the man, just by default, because you guys are working and money is like a reflection of your work, you tend to sometimes see women lose respect for their man when they're making more. I'm not saying all women, but a lot of the time it's like, well, I'm making more, so by default I'm better than you, so I'm in charge. And then now you're making the man kind of feel like, man, like she doesn't need me. She can walk away at any moment. And a lot of the time men want to feel wanted. They want to feel needed. And I think today, you know, it's looked down upon when a woman want men to pay for things, or women have certain expectations for lifestyles, you know, because they call you a gold digger, you know, you just want this from a man. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think there's a fine line of becoming like carried away with wanting men to have certain things, like going to Dubai and him paying you $30,000, like that's kind of ridiculous. Like, now you're just in it for the money, you know? But a lot of the time is that when you have people making, especially a couple, similar or more, a similar amount of money, you tend to clash, because it's like, who's really in charge, right? Who's really bringing home the bacon and making the decision? So I see what you're saying when it comes to money, because, and as a woman, you know, you also go through different things than men do. You know, if you want to have kids, right? When you start having kids, work has to also take a back burner. Therefore, your income will take a hit. So it's like, then your income takes a hit, but your man has been making less than you. So it's like, you're used to a certain lifestyle. How do you maintain that? So I think it's just being mindful of, you know, well, I don't really care if I'm making more or not. It's like, okay, you don't have to care, and as long as you work together and there's a good relationship. But just be mindful. Sometimes women tend to lose respect for a man because, you know, the money is a reflection of their work.
Yeah, and I'll add one more thing. It's just, the number one thing in life for any of us here, for any of us watching, is who do you want to be? Like, what do you want out of your life? Like, what is your dream scenario, right? So a buddy of mine, he's like, he knows I'm single. He knows that I'm doing my thing out there. And he's like, yo, dude, got a sick girl. I want to introduce you to this girl. Great girl. Awesome girl. I'm like, all right, what's up? What you got? What you got? She's like, she's the #1 realtor in Miami. She saw your picture. She thinks you're great. And like, she wants to go out. I'm like, all right, cool. Like, send me a picture. Let's see what she looks like. I was like, all right. She's like, not my typical type, but all right. He's like, what do you think? I'm like, yeah, I'm good. And he's like, dude, she's like the #1 realtor. She makes a ton of money. She's great. I'm like, yeah, I don't give a shit, because like, she's not gonna start paying my bills. She's not gonna get on my page. Every weekend, she's gonna do some showing. She's gonna be dealing with some client. It's all gonna be about her work and her real estate. And unless she's willing to be that type of woman who's like, I'm gonna slow down a little bit. I want to have a family. I want to be a housewife, not a housewife, but like be a mother and take care of children. I'm not interested. Now, I'm not saying that she needs to quit her job and stop working. Nothing like that. I'm not that dude. Like, get in the kitchen. That's not what it is at all. But it all depends on what you want in life. I know that what I want in life is to find a woman I love and have a family, and that's my goal. Whether or not I get married or not, that's a whole other situation. But like finding love, I think we all want to find love. Even Elon Musk said, I think, you're only half happy if you love your work. In order to be 100% happy, you need to find love and also love your work. I think that's amazing. And that's, I don't know if you know this, the richest motherfucker in the world right now, like depending on the day. So I think as a man, it's okay to say, yeah, I want to find love. I think that's a masculine thing to do, especially if it's from a woman or whatever you're into, different strokes, different folks. So the point is, I was not interested in this woman because she made so much money. If she was just this friendly, amazing, awesome woman that she made 50 grand a year, I'd be like, sign me up. But the money isn't a major factor for a lot of men. That's my opinion. Moving on. Sorry, I have no clue what to ask you. I'm like, how does it work?
Men before,
How does it
so I
work
can have an opinion.
with the ladies with a little Red Riding Hood? Nat, is there anything that you want to read out or anything like that?
Yes, I can actually touch on some super chats.
Okay,
really
do them quick because we got about a
Yes.
half hour left, and
Okay.
I want to touch on a couple more topics.
Okay, well, thank you all for the super chats. We appreciate you. Make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, and share. Because we love to have you guys here with us. First, we have TRC in the building. Shout out to you. He said, love, congratulations, Adam Sosnick and Natalya Delvalle. Proud of you. Valuetainment Money Soscast.
Respect. He's in Canada, by the way.
Yeah, but he comes down for events, so shout
he's
out
out
to you
here.
because he'll come down. And then we have Jerry podcast. Angela is already coming in with that fire.
She fuego. Maybe if you're a gold digger, all you got to offer is gold.
Yeah.
Cha-ching. Let's get that cha-ching, Jorge.
There we go. Then we have Beaten Cheeks in the house.
Oh, yeah.
Beaten Cheeks, we missed you. He said, Hoeflation, hearing ladies being flown out to Dubai, Miami by simpy guys and bragging about it is as if they paid for it. Hoeflation.
Hoeflation.
Hoeflation. Then we have Alex De La Cruz. He just donated. Shout out to you, Alex. I see you in all the chat all the time. Then we have Jesus or Jesus Moran. Thanks for keeping it real, Adam. And then let me see if you have any new last minute ones. Okay, I think that's it for Super Chats. Keep them coming. Let's get some questions for our ladies. I think we have a nice, diverse panel today. And it's just ladies, so I think if we can get some good questions for them, get some different perspective, and hey, maybe this could be a clip or something that you can find to send to your girlfriend to help her out in a certain area without telling her directly. Let's be honest.
That's that Hoeflation.
No, but listen, it's serious because sometimes women don't take things a certain way when like men correct them, but if you're like, babe, watch this, like I really like this girl and I think you may connect with her, watch this clip, and you're able to help your girl evolve with you without scolding her. So give us some questions so our panel can give some good insight, so maybe you and your girl and your relationship work out a little bit better, or ask Adam Sauce for some questions. Yeah.
Well, Nat, I appreciate you.
I appreciate
Okay.
you too.
And by the way, I don't care if you're a dude who's dating a girl, if you're a girl who's dating a girl, if you're a dude and you got your dude thing going on, all right, that's fine. I'm learning over here.
There you go.
I'm learning over here. How does it work in your relationship with it's like, next. All right, so.
Block it out.
This whole concept of inflation, these terminologies that we're using, but there's also this whole concept of a recession. And the definition of a recession is 2 consecutive quarters of negative GDP. That's something that we dealt with, gross domestic product. We don't need you guys to think you're economists or anything like that. I'm just pointing that out. But here's my point. You know who's actually the best at predicting recessions? It's not economists. It's not finance bros. It's not fucking Jim Cramer on CNBC. It may, in fact, be strippers.
Oh.
Because these strippers know when it's raining or not. They are like the weathermen of money. They know. They're like, all right, no, it's not raining today.
It's not working anymore.
It's a little dry out there. I don't need an umbrella today. Oh, shit, it's raining. All right. So apparently, here's this article right here that we can pull up real quick. Strippers are confirming we are, in fact, in a recession. Traffic in strip bars across the United States and in the UK is dwindling due to the cost of living crisis. So strippers are basically finding out or educating us, listen, it's time for a recession. I don't know what the administrations are basically saying. I don't know what the Fed is basically saying. But if Lexus and Mercury and Sophia, come to the stage, please, are basically saying we're in a recession. We're in a recession. We don't need Janet Yellen or Jay Powell to confirm that.
The strippers say it.
Yeah. They what?
The strippers say it.
If the stripper says it, you know it's true. Strippers would never lie.
Yeah.
I mean, I've lived my whole life believing whatever a stripper tells me. And it's gotten me this far.
Your whole life.
Anyway, they were not. So leading indicator, this is what you call economic leading indicator, where basically traffic has stopped coming to the strip clubs. I don't even know if 11 these days, they're still making it rain here. So here's some numbers for you guys out there just to put some actual figures in your head and on your lap. Strip club market cap, 7.4 billion. That's how much money the total market cap of strip clubs across the United States were at $7.4 billion. That's in 2022. Annual revenue growth of strip clubs was 5% between 2012 and 2017. It was 1.9% between 2013 and 2018, but it's only risen 1.7% in 2023. So that's basically minus hundreds of millions of dollars of making it rain, precipitation that's coming down all up over in your face over there. And the last thing that we want, like on a curve, is for it to go flat. We don't want the market to go flat. We don't want any flat strippers. Like, that's just, nobody needs it flat, okay? We don't need a pancake ass. Like, it's just, sorry, I went there.
No good.
All right.
It's no good.
That's no good.
The poor strippers are tailing with the coins. They're like, inflation, babe.
Yeah. So how bad is it? How bad is it in the economy right now? Well, let me pull up that article right now, if we can, because I actually want to see that I'm not making this terminology up. Scroll down, scroll down. Okay, hold on. This is
the clip.
All right, keep going down. Hold on. No. Keep going down. No. Up. Sorry, back up. No, not a clip. We're going to read the article. All right, right
here.
Right there. So what effect is the slowing traffic at strip clubs having on strippers and sex workers here in the UK? Because this is across the United States and the UK, English-speaking countries. Well, Nikki Adams of the campaign group, the English Collective of Prostitutes, she says the cost of living crisis is having a terrible effect on sex workers. We can get off of that now. So here's what she said. She says the cost of living is having a terrible effect on sex workers. We recorded a 30% jump in the last year of the number of callers seeking support, basically women. Women are calling us upset and they're scared, okay? Again, these are leading economic indicators that a recession is coming, okay? Lexus can't pay rent. Women are frantically asking if we can provide food vouchers for food banks. I mean, you must be the ugliest stripper if you can't afford food. All right. Others have housing problems, evictions, or even being harassed by their landlord. I'm sorry to hear that. Quote unquote, they're desperately trying to work out how they are going to get through the next week. Somebody needs to help these strippers out, okay? So the group, what they've done, and I'm not even making this up, the group has teamed up with Hookers Against Hardship, demanding immediate action and help. And they're demanding that someone step in. So, ladies, lovely ladies, non-strippers, how much stock do you put into strippers being able to predict an actual recession? What do you think, Maria?
Why would start with me? Listen, I feel like it depends actually of the area too. Here in Miami, there's a lot of strip clubs, and I know the men's goes a lot.
Oh, there are?
Clubs.
In Miami?
In Miami.
Here?
Yes.
There's strip clubs here?
Yes.
No way. Mm-hmm. I gotta go to one of those these days.
Yeah.
I've never been.
But I mean, I don't know. I don't know how accurate this is because I have never gone to a strip club and I don't have any idea.
But basically, my question is, if strippers are saying that they're feeling the economic hardships, do you believe these women?
Hell no.
Hell no.
Hell no.
You don't believe the strippers?
No.
Why not?
I mean, what kind of studies they have in economics and stuff? Like, I mean, what kind of studies they have?
Yeah. Well, they know if they work a shift and they make $1,000 doing that, and now they're only making $100. That's no good.
That's not good, but
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know how accurate it is.
All right, Tess, what'd you think? Do these strippers know what they're talking about?
I really have no idea. But honestly, I think the location also depends because here in Miami, you have 11, which I
Yeah.
don't think the 11 strippers think there's a recession
No.
coming. Because when you have events and when you have the place that you're at that's like 11, they're not in recession. Those girls are living.
Yeah.
But I'm sure if you go to a small town where maybe there's not a lot of jobs, there's not a lot of like people, there's not a lot of tourism, yeah, they're going to feel it.
Yeah, well, you know
definitely
what Warren Buffett says about being recession-proof and inflation-proof? Warren Buffett says this, and this is advice to all you entrepreneurs out there, you workers out there, and even you lovely strippers out there. And his advice is, be the best at your job you can be. Be the absolute best. Because if you're the best at what you do, you're recession-proof, you're inflation-proof, you're always going to have a job. So if you're the hottest stripper out there, you're going to make some money. If you're the best doctor out there, you're going to make some money. If you're the best content creator out there, you're going to make some money. If you're the best fitness person out there, you're going to make some money. If you're the best tattoo artist out there, you're the best lesbian out there. I don't know. You're going to find a woman is what I'm saying. Like the opportunities are galore.
Yeah.
But if you're that buck-tooth, snaggle-tooth, C-section, shrimp club, just Gollum-looking stripper, you're going to feel the price at the pump.
Yep.
Literally. So just be the best you could be out there. Angela, do these strippers have any credibility here predicting this recession?
Controversial take. I think they do. Because you have to think about who's paying them. You know, whoever they're taking those dollars from, those are the men that are dictating their paychecks. So to me, I think, yes, they can say, but the problem with it's the uneducated factor. You know, your best asset shouldn't be your ass. It should be your mind, ladies out there. So I know a couple, because I worked in the beauty industry. So for me, I know a couple. And you may make a lot of money, but what you do with your money is really important. And a lot of them don't know what to do with their money. And I think that's why the fear of inflation really freaks them out. And they don't know what to do, how to invest. And everybody thinks the first thing you do is just, you know, buy things that are liabilities. So if you get out of that mindset, they wouldn't be so scared. But I have to say, when they say it, they're not lying.
I have to agree with Angela. I'll tell you why. Because if you go to a strip club, you're spending what is known as disposable income. When you're precipitating and making it rain, like our friend Dylan Bet David did when he learned the hard way. He's like, I made it rain. So I took my my money gun. You have it? Yeah. Okay. Show him what it's all about, Nat.
Okay, I'm making it rain for you.
Yeah. So when Dylan met David, he's like, oh, I sprayed the gun.
Yeah.
He's like, nah, I don't have any more money. I was like, exactly, buddy. That's what happens. You make it rain at the club. He's like, I don't want to make it rain anymore, Sauce. I'm like, good job, bud. Save that money. But if you're out there making it rain, helping it precipitate all up in the club, but now these ladies are basically recognizing we're not seeing as many guys come to the fucking to the club anymore. We're not getting as many lap dances. I'm not really going back to the champagne room. You know, they say, like, you don't talk about what goes on in the champagne room. Like, that is, Joey, what's the thing? No sex in the champagne room? Of course.
Married.
Well, I mean.
How do you know that?
How
do you know that?
He's a child of God. He doesn't know
No
these
sex
things.
in the champagne room. Allegedly. I don't know. I've heard otherwise. But if they're basically not having as much sex in the champagne room, they're not exactly needing umbrellas. I actually think strippers are a great indicator of a recession.
Yeah.
Disposable income. Anything that's disposable. Bars, going out drinking, collectibles.
Yeah.
You know, NFTs, like, who the fuck is spending their money on NFTs when it's disposable? All right, go get me a bored ass ape, whatever. All of a sudden, nobody's buying NFTs anymore. Hey, you want to go out and have some fun? All right, cool, let's go spend $500, $1,000 at a strip club. Now it's like, yeah, I'm going to get 2 drink minimum and keep it moving. So I actually think that there is a lot of credibility in these financial professionals and these economists known as strippers. Lexi, to the stage, please. Lexi, to the stage.
You'll be
Thank you.
surprised. You'll be surprised. I know stripping is really looked down upon because, you know, you're exposing yourself for money. But, you know, these women make a lot of money. So by default, they have to learn what to do with the money. So when, like, money's taking a hit, like inflation, best believe these girls know what's going on because what they do for work is literally exposing their body. So they should be the most in tune with what's going on with the economy and money today.
Yep.
So don't undermine some of these stripper girls. You know,
No.
they got a little smart mind on them
Do
sometimes.
what you got to do. Listen, I got respect for the sex workers out there, the strippers out there, the OnlyFans. Do what you got to do, girl. But my only advice is, gentlemen, do not marry these women. They're here for a good time, not a long time. That's my opinion. I'm sticking to it. I can see Lexi being like, yeah, the GDP this quarter is really going down. I don't know.
I'm just like,
yeah, I don't know. Something, the macroeconomic, I think oil is coming down this month and the stock market is due for a major hit. So make sure to move your money into a money market account and get it out of the bond
He's
index.
like, you're right.
Yeah.
Let me just.
You're right, Lexi. By the way, just quick question, just because I like kind of keeping tabs on this. How many girls, percentage, number, do you know that are doing OnlyFans? You're like, I know 5, I know 2, I know half my friends.
Percentage?
Anything. Give me some anecdote.
I don't know. I feel like 10%.
10% of women.
No, you said that you know.
Well,
Out of 10 girls you
Yeah.
know, how many do OnlyFans? How about that?
Oh, probably one.
10% out of 100
I've lived
girls
in a
you
lot
know.
of places, so
Okay.
yeah.
Angela, you're a classy lady, you know.
I know like 3, only because I'm online and I connect with a lot of people.
Okay.
So I like to have
Diane?
a diverse conversation.
Yeah, I would say like 10% out of 10 people that I know. But that's like people in the industry that I know. Not like out of my friend group, like tight, close friend group, none.
Okay, Maria?
0.
0?
I don't know no one that works in OnlyFans.
I mean, you got to get out more, girl.
I know.
You could walk across the street and meet this OnlyFans girl. They out there. Shit. Lexi, to the stage, please. Lexi. A couple more things, then we'll move on. Next story. So I'm going to show you an image of this gentleman right now, and when you see his face, I want you to say the first word that comes to mind, what you think of. Okay? And I'm speaking of course, this man right here, Andrew Tate. Controversial figure. So first thing that comes to mind, Maria, go.
Oh my God. How do you call machista?
Like F-boy. It's kind of like an F-boy.
Yeah, F-boy.
Like a fuck boy?
Yeah.
That's the first word that comes to mind?
Yeah.
Fuck boy. Okay, go ahead. Show the picture again.
Yeah, so this guy, I know he's like controversial because of like his way with women and what he says about women and stuff, but I actually was listening to his podcast about finance and he had some great points to talk about.
So what first word that comes to mind?
I don't know because I don't know him, so I don't have any words.
You don't have a strong opinion. Tess?
No.
Can I use Dubai? He would be the type of
Literally.
guy to fly the girls there.
He would be a Dubai
Yeah.
flight
Yeah.
pilot, not a attendant.
Yeah.
Okay. Angela?
Bugattis.
Bugattis. Okay. Now, 10 being I really, really like this guy, like I like what he stands for. 1 being like I hate him. What number would you give him?
To be honest, I don't actually know too much.
Of what you know about him. You've seen his face before.
I mean, probably like a 3. I could care less.
Okay, so he's low on your list.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll come to you last, Angela. Maria.
I would say 5.
So you're middle of the road with this guy.
Yeah, because I don't like his opinion about women.
Mm-hmm.
But as business stuff, he's amazing.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Okay. Diane?
I'm with Maria. It's 5.
You're a 5.
Like I don't know much really about his darker side. I really don't know much about this man, but from the only podcast I heard of him, and I was actually trying to find more podcasts of him, but I couldn't. Maybe you could tell me. You seem to know him well.
Yeah,
But
I can tell you 1 or 2 or podcasts.
Yeah, so
The
yeah.
podcast we did with him, you could watch.
So yeah,
It's great.
from the knowledge that he has, he seems to be very knowledgeable man. So
Angela, how about you?
yeah.
10, I appreciate him. 1, I depreciate him.
Without brown nosing, I'll just keep it at a 9. I'll say 9 just because I can appreciate his marketing tactics. He's a genius at that. And I think he has core values, but I don't think he shows it enough. And I think the type, I don't even know. I would just say the type of way that he it made him look bad, but I get it. I guess as a content creator, I understand. But the type of women that he surrounds himself with, it's questionable. And I think that's pretty much it. I think everyone that follows him, it could be hit or miss. You could either have the right idea or you could fall into the wrong dark hole following it.
Gotcha. All right. Well, the reason I bring it up, well, let me actually ask the audience. So, you know that we feel the need to talk about this because I think this guy and his brother, Tristan, have been wrongfully accused, witch hunt, conspiratorialized, and basically been fingered as being someone that they're not. And they've been thrown in jail, and they were in jail for, 4 or 5 months with no charges. And that, to me, is the epitome of bullshit. You might not like someone, you might disagree with someone, you might fucking hate someone, but to lock them up, throw away the key, and not charge them with anything, to me, is the epitome of bullshit. And I think I would say that about anyone, but I actually, fan, friend, and cohort of the Tates. What I'd like to know from the chat is, 1 through 10, where do you stand on Tate? Is he a 10? Is he a 9? Is he an 8? 1? You don't like him? You don't appreciate him? Whatever. So put that in the chat if you would. But here's some of the things that the recent court filings basically revealed. And this, to me, is the reason that I wanted to do this story. So they said, quote unquote, we also consider, this is because he has basically been accused of human trafficking, sex trafficking, which are very serious charges, okay? And we know that he's boisterous and loud and says things, and a lot of things eloquently, and some things I'm sure he would like to take back. But just because you say things doesn't mean that you did them or that you can have proven that you've done something. But basically, here's what this is. And this is, to me, where I had a bone to pick. This is from the Romanian courts. This is what they came out and said. We also consider that the length of the period spent in jail has been here it is, fair warning for the defendants, and made them understand that their judicial situation, as well as the consequences of the situation for their future and for the future of their families. So the court ruled house arrest was enough to ensure a fair investigation and preventing other crimes. And the courts extended the restrictions until May 29th. So the court came out and said that the reason that they sent the Tates home to be on house arrest was because basically they've been in jail long enough. We've delivered our message. We don't like what you stand for. And we've given you a fair warning that it's okay for you to go home. What kind of nonsense is that? Like, go to jail as a fair warning? Like, you either did something wrong and they proved it and you go to jail, or you're set free. They're held in jail for 4 or 5 months as a warning?
Yeah.
That, to me, is ridiculous. So here's my question to you ladies. Oh, the red jacket's coming off. I believe that they have nothing on him. I believe that a lot of what he said was outlandish and hyperbolic and sensational and all the above, but I don't think he was a human sex trafficker. Like, that'd be ridiculous. But he did admit to basically running a webcam business, essentially hiring OnlyFans girls to do webcam. That's not sex trafficking, okay? There's like a million companies that do, like, no one from OnlyFans is going to jail, okay? Women sign up to do OnlyFans, they make money. That's how it works. Nobody's like, go get Mr. OnlyFans CEO and throw him in jail. Women can choose what they want to do. So I have a big issue with being wrongfully accused, wrongfully thrown in jail. So my question to you ladies, because I want to get your opinion on this. You said that he's a 3, you gave him a 9, you said a 5, and you've heard some things and you've seen some things, and a lot of people have opinions on him. If it turns out that he is proven to be innocent, okay, wrongfully accused, wrongfully thrown in jail, right, was the biggest megastar in social media, the most Googled person on the planet for a brief period of time. The Romanian government comes in, locks him up, throw away the key. How would you assess his situation at that point? Would you feel bad for the guy? Would you care? Is this like a non-story to you? If someone's thrown in jail and locked up for a fair warning, would your perspective on him change at all? What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I gave a 3 because I have just heard the stories, the articles about the sex trafficking. Other than that, I have not followed up on what's happened, what's the resolution, what's going on. So that's why I gave a 3, is because that's all I've heard about him, and I haven't researched anything farther. So if it was wrongly done that he was in jail, of course, I think that's absolutely not okay, and I would put him at a 5 because
He would go from a 3 to a 5.
I still don't care enough to go either way. I
Yeah.
don't really know like what the whole deal is with him, business side or non-business side. That's just what I've heard, so that's what I based my opinion on.
But I think a lot of people, because he catapulted to such stardom, you had to pick a side. You're like, yo, that guy's sick, he's awesome. Or it's like, he's a sex trafficker, he's a piece of shit, he's a chauvinist, and I hate him. And a lot of people just rush to judgment. I think that's essentially what's happening here, is that there was a rush to judgment, and they're realizing we don't have anything on this guy, and now we're coming out with a story that we gave him a fair warning of jail.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so what would you say?
He will still be a 5 because he still.
You're still a 5, homie.
I mean, he still made opinions that I do not support. You know,
Such as what?
he was like saying that he could be with a lot of women's
Yeah.
because women's, in small words, women's are his property.
Yeah.
So, I hate that. But I feel like
I think that was.
There's-
Go ahead. Yeah.
there's not freedom in speech. Like, he could say whatever he wants to say.
Yep.
And I feel like it's super unfair that he went to jail for just saying stuff. Like,
Yeah.
you can do research about it and then prove if it's true or if it's not, but
Yep.
not throw him to jail, like, just because you suspect,
And
you know?
remind the audience where you're from again.
Venezuela?
And remind the audience where you're from again.
Cuba.
Now, is there freedom of speech in Venezuela?
Hell no.
There's not.
No.
Is there freedom of speech where you're from? Okay. Is there freedom of speech in America?
Yes. Well,
Debatable.
kind of. Kind of.
Debatable these days.
Yes.
But I
Thank
think
you,
we can agree
Jesse.
that's what it should be here in America. So if he is acquitted and the lawsuit and the charges are dropped, he wouldn't look any better in your eyes?
No,
Okay.
because you cannot take the words back.
Got it. All right. Diane?
So yes, he has said some weird derogatory things about women. So you can't take that back. And I don't know much about the sex trafficking stuff, but I'm like a super conspiracy researcher nerd. So if I were to know about it, I would like find all the possible proof about it to see if it's actually true.
You'd be in your room with the
I'd be like
connecting of the
looking for
dots
the
and
proof, like,
the
okay, where are
markers and
these
rubber bands.
web cams that he's talking about? What is this business that LLC he opened up? Like, so I don't know.
You're going to get to the bottom of this. Okay.
I'm not really sure.
So
but,
he'd go from
yeah.
a 3 to 5 to you. You guys are going to just abstain from
Stay the
rush to
same.
judgment. You're staying at a 5.
Yeah.
Staying at a 5. Angela? I know you've already at a 9, but how could he get to a 10 in your eyes?
Well, I mean, it's weird to call someone a 10 because I don't personally know him.
Yeah.
So my decisions wouldn't change because I just think that I didn't make my decision based off of what he was accused of. And I think that as far as that part, if he was unattractive and was broke, I'd be a little sus. I'd probably say that. But I don't really see someone in his position doing that. So I don't even know why that's even an argument. So that's just my own personal opinion, but I wouldn't change the 9 and 8. It's just the respect part for what I do see him, for what he has done. He does say pretty outlandish things, but again, it's the type of women that he associates with.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that fits for his narrative.
Last question on this. Why do most women not like Tate? And why do you think most men do? I'll ask it again. Why do you think most women don't like him? And why do you think most men do? Go ahead.
I mean, from what I've learned from the other ladies, what they've said, I would think most women don't like him because if he says derogatory things or if he's the type of person who thinks that women are to his disposal, women don't like that. But for men, he might be like that guy, you know, he's got all the ladies, he's got all the women, they're disposable. Like, that's the cool guy. So I would think that that's why for guys and girls.
Gotcha. And does that give you a little glimpse into maybe how men think, or does that not matter?
Yeah, of course. It's not a great way.
All right. It's not a great way to think.
Yeah. Women are not at disposal.
Well, that's one comment he made out of 10 million hours of content. But that's the one thing a lot of people want to cling their hat on and be like, he said that one property thing. But a lot of men appreciate him for so many other reasons. I'll respond after you guys weigh in. But again, why do you think most women don't appreciate him, and why do you think most men do? Go ahead.
I feel like it's because of the woman perspective and men perspective. Like, woman perspective, we're more emotional. So we take everything to us.
Yeah.
So he's speaking directly to women, so we take it.
Yeah.
Instead of looking at the business side, we take more like women are disposable.
Yeah.
But men has like a different perspective of things. Men doesn't care about what he says about women. That's my thought. They care more about what he say about depression, about business, about how make money. Mm-hmm. So I feel like it's more about the perspective of both sides, both sex, maybe.
Men and women have different agendas. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think that women don't like him because of how he treats women and how the disrespect there is sometimes with women. And men like him. I literally was introduced to him by a man that was telling me, oh my God, Andrew Tate, he like knows everything possible about business. And I was like, I want to know everything. I want to like listen to every podcast that this man has. So like, I was like, give me a podcast. And that's how but then I also started looking, like he said, everybody hates Andrew Tate. So I was like, what about Andrew Tate do people hate? So then I started like researching what was it that was also bad about him. And then I saw everything that was.
Do you think he's been treated fairly by?
No, I don't. Like if he really wasn't involved in that, then I don't think it was fair. And I think that the cops are just also being led by social media and the media and all of the things that the media puts into your head. And they were like, oh my God, he's a bad guy. But that's literally where the cops need to draw the line. Like, you can't be the same thing as me. You have to put emotion and logic aside and see, like, is this man actually accused of is this man actually guilty of what we say he's being guilty of, or is it just the media trying to make a scene of it?
Makes sense. All right, Angela, bring us home. Because I know that these women are saying that a lot of women respond emotionally, that I might not like one thing that he said, so now I hate him, right? Whereas a lot of men are like, dude, I've seen this guy saying a million awesome things that I fully agree with.
Right.
Yeah, and there's maybe some questionable things, but I'm not going to, throw the baby out with the bathwater, right? So what's your perspective?
I think that women don't like him because he's everything that their partner isn't. So he's saying a lot of things that don't align with their experiences as a woman. So if you dated a guy who wasn't manly or wasn't masculine or wasn't leading the relationship, nothing he says will fit in your life. And I think that men that do like him, he's everything you want to be or aspire to be or, need a man in your life to look up to. So I think it's just like a desirable type of thing. And the other one's just like, I don't relate to this, so I hate. So.
This girl, Angela, bro, she's just right there, y'all. Natalya, bring us home. Why do women not like this man or things he says, and why do you think most men do?
Well, I think it's pretty simple. I think Angela hit really great points as well. But if you think about it, he's more of supposed to be an example for gentlemen. So he's going to deliver a message for gentlemen to respond to and understand. It's hard to take advice for somebody who's not in your place or even your gender. Like a man giving you advice like how to deal with your period. You're going to be like, no, you don't know how to.
No, Dylan Mulvaney will help you out
Okay,
with that.
exactly
He's
my
got you.
point. And look how Bud Light is doing now.
Yeah.
But, a lot of the time is because we are emotional, there's nothing wrong with that. We have to maybe be delivered the message in a different way. If he's saying women, that's my property, you have to think about it like this. Like when you have your husband, right, or your man, you want him to claim you, right? You want him to protect you like he's your you're his property. You want him to take care of you. You want him to maintain you. You want him to go above and beyond because you're his. So again, it's literally just the context of it. But mind you, in order to get through to some of these gentlemen, you have to have that locker room talk. And I think he's able to get through to some men. And there are some men who just take it overboard and they disrespect women and they don't get the message he's trying to come across. But I think it's the way the message is being delivered. So I like to, especially with the podcast we have and the different people we have, whenever people say things and I maybe get triggered or I may be emotional about it, I take a step back and I'm like, why does that bother me? Right? Where's something in me that's bothering me that I feel like offended by this? So I think it's a matter of also coming down to like lowering your ego as a woman, you know, and listen, ladies, I get it. Men, sometimes they need to step up. So by default, you become defensive. You become, I don't need one. I can do it myself. And yes, I understand, but you're missing out on how great a man can be when you become like that. So again, I think he's more for, you know, the gentleman to get the guys up and going. Sure, he has flaws. I also don't know him. If you want me to give him a number, I would even say 7 because I don't know him. I'm huge on character, who you are on camera, who you are off camera. I'm huge on that. So I would give him 7 because I never met the guy, but I do like his message. I do think he is a necessary voice for gentlemen today. And ladies, you know, if there are things that he says that offend you, I challenge you to analyze why it offends you, and, you know, make your beliefs off of that. And sometimes it takes a lot of courage to lower your ego to accept a message and make it work for you. I'm not saying everything he says is right. I also don't know everything that he says. But I do think he's a necessary voice in the world today for gentlemen, especially with how, you know, masculinity is just tanking with everybody making their transitions and changes. So that's my message. That's it.
Thank you, Dr. Jordan Peterson.
You're welcome.
I see that you've learned something from our friend Melanie King.
I loved her. I loved her because there was things in that podcast that were said that I'm like, like that kind of bothered me, but I'm like, let me listen. Let me ask questions. So sometimes, ladies, you need to ask questions because maybe that's the reasons why you can't find who you're looking for. So that's all.
Well said. Before we do a happy ending, is there anything that we need to address, Miss Natalya?
Other than that, I don't think we have any super chats, but we appreciate the ones we have today. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, do all the fun things. We have our live event coming. I am super hype about this event because not only are we going to get a live show, we're going to have an amazing panel, but we're going to get to spend time with you guys. And I feel like that's when you really get to connect with your audience and the valuetainers and the fresh and fitters. And you become a community, and it's nice when you can have good conversations, even if it's, you know, a debate. Sometimes you need that in order for messages to get across. So make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. The link for the tickets will be also in the description, so you guys can grab your tickets. We will sell out. I'm telling you, we will sell out. And yeah, I can't wait for what's to come.
Yeah, let's, if we can show what's going on. So if you missed the beginning of the show, we made a major announcement. So June 2nd, it's a Friday night, Fresh and Fit coming here for a live studio podcast with 200 people in the room here. Tickets, pricing, all on the website. Fresh and Fit, Myron and Walt, and a whole host of women and ladies having a conversation, a debate, a dialogue, an event with all of you. So if you are in South Florida, it's going to be here in Fort Lauderdale, June 2nd. Click the link, check out the tickets, grab yours today. The event will be packed. It will sell out. It's going to be bonanza June 2nd. So there's Jorge. Te amo, Jorge. Okay, so ladies, what we do at the end of the show here, as Angela knows, we do something called the happy ending, where you can look into the camera, tell the people what you want them to know, let them know where to find you, give a message that you want the world to know about you. All eyes on you for the happy ending, okay? Tess, go ahead, use your good side.
Go, Tess.
This is my good side.
Yeah.
Everything you need to know, I am the best tattoo artist in Miami, so you can find me Tattooed by Tessa. I'm down in Wynwood, and my message is just be kinder to everybody. That's it.
Tattooed by Tessa.
Yeah.
On Instagram.
Yeah.
Let them know. Angela, Wonderful to have you back. This girl drops gems like she's freaking Steve Nash out here.
I'm a fan.
And then we're just dunking out there.
Stop.
Next thing you know, you're going to have Natalya quoting you on the next show. You're doing your thing. Go ahead, Angela.
Guys, we're living in a crazy time, so your best asset is really your mind. Please stop letting social media poison yourself. Stop being scared. Really, trial and error is key. And if you need to find me, I'm under Angelite 2.0, YouTube, Instagram. I have the 2.0 channel, so I'm around.
She's doing it. Little Red Riding Hood with the new hairdo.
Yep.
The Cuban mamita.
Yes, I'm Diane. I'm a model. So if you want to follow my journey, you can follow me at Diane P. Esteves. And I just say be patient and be kind to everybody and love yourself. Find ways to love yourself so that you can love everybody.
Miss Maria.
Hello.
I'll never forget. You weren't that crazy today.
No. Today, no.
Today.
I'm
when
tired.
When
You bring
you're a
her
little
back.
tired.
Celsius, that's what she
she's
needed.
chugging Celsius. Yeah, she's still
Yeah,
tired.
yeah.
That's how you know you're desensitized and amused
Yeah.
to everything that Celsius offers. When I met you at Model Volleyball, I said, rate yourself 1 to 10 on the crazy scale.
I
You
was
said,
11.
oh my God, 11. Like, how do you not know that? Today you were like a 5.
Yeah, 5.
You were like an Andrew Tate kind of,
Yeah,
5. No big deal. Very moderate.
Yes.
Go ahead, look in the camera right here. What you want the
So-
people to know?
You can find me on Instagram as Mandre Quintero. I have a lot of information there, like motivational stuff and also fitness, my fitness journey. So my message for today is listen to other people's opinion because you don't know what you can learn from them.
Ooh. Go ahead and flex on them one time.
Hey.
Tess, here's your moment.
No.
I thought we would get her to flex.
At this time.
All right, Nat. Anything you want to add before we go?
I loved what the lady said. I think all of those things are very important. I think with today, everybody's saying bold statements and making, points out there, but I think it's also important to be kind. A lot of the time, you overlook the simple things. And I think with today and people being a little bit more, we're being a little bit more diverse, being kind is such a simple gesture. And, believe what you believe, but also be open to different perspectives because you can learn a lot.
I try to be nice, even because I think I'm a genuinely nice person. And at one point, I was kind of being a dick for I don't know whatever reason.
Yeah, you had a few days you were like a little on one, but it's
Hey,
okay.
relax.
Because I appreciate you.
And even Pat was like, "Be nice,
See,
be nice."
I knew it. If Pat said it, then you're like, wait,
All
let
right,
me.
well, listen, I don't need you to pile on right now, lady.
Sorry.
Relax. Okay, but it's okay to be nice. But anyway, I hope you learned some stuff today. Financial stuff, inflation, some Hoeflation. It's out there. It's real. Okay.
It's happening.
But it's happening. But rather than what's that?
Strippers.
The strippers leading economic indicators of a recession. If the stripper says it, you know it's true. So you better make sure to save that money because you never know what's coming around the corner. And if you find yourself that you're not making as much money as you want, getting the women that you want, becoming the person that you want, the only thing that you can do is figure it out for yourself. No one is coming to save you. You need to save yourself and you need to save that money. We out. See you guys next time.